December 18th, 1944, evening. Mourmelon-le-Grand, France. My name is Thomas Callahan, Tommy, Private First Class, 2nd Battalion, 506 Parachute, Infantry Regiment, 101st Airborne Division. I'm 22 years old, from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I'm writing this as fast as I can because we're moving out and I don't know when I'll get another chance. My hand's already cramping, but I need to get this down. Need to record what's happening. 2 hours ago, maybe 3, I'm losing track. We were in the barracks playing cards. It was a good night. Quiet. Eddie Malone was cleaning me out like he always does. The guy's got a poker face like you wouldn't believe. He was grinning at me across the table, his Boston accent thick as he raked in another pot. Tommy boy, when you gonna learn? I can read you like the Sunday funnies. Jimmy Chen was at the next bunk over, writing a letter home to his family. He writes them every week, without fail. His parents are in Manzanar, that internment camp out in California, behind barbed wire, and here's their son, fighting for the country that locked them up. He doesn't talk about it much, but you can see it in his eyes sometimes, the hurt, the confusion, but he keeps writing those letters, keeps telling them he's okay, that this all means something. Frank Dombrowski was asleep in his bunk, snoring like a freight train. We joke that the Germans can probably hear him from here. Big guy from Detroit. Worked in the auto plants before the war. He's got hands like anvils and a heart twice as big. He can field strip and reassemble a BAR blindfolded. I've seen him do it. It was peaceful. Boring even. We've been here in Mourmelon for 3 weeks now, resting up after Holland. After Market Garden. That was rough, real rough. We lost a lot of good men trying to take those bridges. The ones who made it back were beat to hell, exhausted, shell-shocked. So they pulled us back here to rest, to heal, to train the replacements. And there are a lot of replacements. Fresh-faced kids straight from jump school. They look at us, the veterans, with these wide eyes, like we're something special, like we know all the secrets. Truth is, we're just the ones who got lucky so far. That's the only difference between us and the guys in the cemetery. We were supposed to be here through Christmas, maybe into the new year. Warm beds, hot food, no one shooting at us. It felt like a gift. Then the whistle blew, sharp, urgent. 3 long blasts. That's the signal for full assembly, combat gear. The barracks exploded into chaos. Everyone scrambling, grabbing rifles, stuffing packs, buckling on gear. What's happening? One of the replacements asked. Kid named Walsh. Couldn't have been more than 19. We're moving out, Frank said, suddenly wide awake, his snoring replaced by sharp efficiency. Where? They'll tell us when they tell us. Now move. I grabbed my M1 Garand, checked the action, loaded a clip. The familiar weight of it in my hands. 8 rounds, 30-06. The rifle that's kept me alive through Normandy, through Holland, through everything. I packed my gear fast. Extra ammo, grenades, rations, canteen, first aid kit, and this diary. I shoved it in the bottom of my pack. Don't know why I'm keeping it. Some part of me wants to record this. Wants someone to know what happened if I don't make it back. Morbid thought. Push it away. Outside, the officers were assembling us. Lieutenant Decker, our platoon leader. Young guy, maybe 25. Good officer, though. Actually listens to the NCOs. Sergeant Bill Henderson was already organizing our squad, getting everyone in line, doing a quick head count. Henderson's the real leader. Mid-30s. Been with the 506 since the beginning. Since Camp Toccoa and that damn mountain we ran up every morning. Currahee. He's got 3 kids back in Iowa. Waterloo. He talks about them sometimes when we're on guard duty and it's quiet. Billy, the oldest, 8 years old, plays baseball. Sarah, she's 6, wants to be a teacher. And little Tommy, they named him after Thomas Jefferson. He's only 3. Henderson's got their pictures in his helmet, keeps them close. Listen up! Henderson's voice cut through the chaos. Strong, confident. We're moving to Belgium. German offensive. Big one. They've broken through in the Ardennes. We're going in to stop them. Murmurs ran through the ranks. The Ardennes. I barely knew where that was. Somewhere in Belgium. Forest. Mountains, maybe. Germans? Eddie said next to me. I thought we had them on the run. Guess they're not running anymore, I replied. The rumors started immediately. You know how soldiers are. Information vacuum gets filled with speculation. Someone heard it was a small probe. Someone else heard it was the entire German army. Someone said Paris was threatened. Someone said it was nothing. We'd be back in a week. Nobody knew anything for sure. But you could feel it. That electric tension in the air. The same feeling we had before Normandy, before Holland, before every jump into hell. We're loading onto trucks now. Canvas-covered deuce-and-a-halves. They're packing us in tight. Maybe 40 guys per truck. Shoulder to shoulder. Gear piled everywhere. Leave the winter gear, someone shouted. We won't need it. We'll be back in a few days. I looked at my wool overcoat. It was warm, heavy. I wanted to take it. But orders are orders. I left it on my bunk. Biggest mistake I could have made. But I didn't know that yet. The truck engine's running. Loud, rattling. I can smell the diesel exhaust. Guys are still climbing in, finding spaces, getting settled for what's going to be a long, uncomfortable ride. Eddie just bumped my shoulder. Hey, Tommy, we gonna be okay? I looked at him. Eddie Malone from Southie. Tough Irish kid. Never shows fear. But I could see it in his eyes now. Just a flicker. Yeah, I told him. We're gonna be fine. We're paratroopers. We're the best. He nodded, seemed to relax a little. Damn right we are. But my stomach's tight. Has been since the whistle blew. That same knot I get before combat. My body knows something my mind doesn't want to admit. This is going to be bad. The truck's moving now, jerking forward. The convoy's forming up. I can see dozens of trucks, maybe hundreds. The whole division's moving. I'm thinking about home. Can't help it. Scranton feels like another lifetime ago. Another world. Mom's probably making dinner right now. Probably pierogies. It's Monday. She always makes pierogies on Monday. Dad's probably just getting home from the mine. He works the late shift, comes home covered in coal dust, has to scrub for 20 minutes just to get clean. Margaret and Catherine, my sisters, they're probably doing homework at the kitchen table. Margaret's 16 now, smart as a whip, wants to go to college, unusual for a girl from our neighborhood, but Mom's encouraging her. Says women can do anything. Catherine's 13, still acts like a kid, still plays with dolls, still believes everything will turn out okay. And Helen Kowalski, the girl I'm going to marry if I make it through this war. We went to the same high school, started dating senior year. She's got dark hair and green eyes and this laugh that makes everything seem better. The night before I shipped out to basic training, we went to Naog Park. Walked around the lake. Talked about the future. About getting married. About having kids. About everything we'd do when the war was over. She kissed me under the pavilion, told me to come home safe. Made me promise. I promised. I'm trying to keep that promise. Every day. Every battle. I'm trying. The truck's picking up speed. We're leaving Mourmelon behind, heading east, into Belgium, into whatever's waiting for us there. Jimmy just caught my eye. He's across from me in the truck. His face is calm, but his hands are clasped tight. He's praying, I think, or maybe just thinking. Frank's next to him, already trying to sleep. How he can sleep on this rattling, bouncing truck is beyond me. But that's Frank. Sleeps anywhere. The canvas sides of the truck are flapping in the wind. It's cold already. Not freezing yet, but getting there. I can see my breath. No winter gear. We won't need it, they said. I hope they're right. But that knot in my stomach says otherwise. December 18th, 1944, late night, somewhere on the road to Belgium. I'm writing this by flashlight, and my handwriting's probably terrible because we're bouncing all over the place. The roads are awful. Potholes everywhere. Every time we hit one, everyone gets jarred. Heads banging against the truck sides. Gear shifting. Guys cursing. We've been driving for hours. 4? 5? I've lost count. Time gets weird when you're crammed in the back of a truck with 40 other guys and nothing to do but think. Nobody's talking much anymore. At first there was conversation, nervous jokes, speculation about where we're going and what we'll find. But that died out maybe an hour ago. Now everyone's just quiet, lost in their own thoughts. The cold is getting worse. It seeps through the canvas sides, through our uniforms, into our bones. We're all huddled together trying to share body heat. But it's not helping much. My fingers are numb. I'm having trouble holding this pen. I can hear the convoy stretching out ahead and behind us. Dozens of trucks, maybe hundreds, all heading east, all carrying paratroopers. The entire 101st Airborne Division moving toward whatever hell's waiting for us. Eddie's sitting next to me. About an hour ago, he pulled out a pack of Lucky Strikes, offered me one. We smoked in silence, the tiny orange glow of the cigarettes, the only light besides my flashlight. His hands were shaking when he lit the match, not from the cold, from nerves. You scared? He asked me quietly, so quiet the others couldn't hear. Yeah, I admitted. Yes, you? Terrified. He took a drag, exhaled slowly. This feels different, Tommy. Normandy was bad, Holland was bad, but this feels worse somehow. Why? He shrugged. Don't know, just a feeling, like we're driving into something really bad. I wanted to tell him he was wrong, that everything would be fine, that we'd handled everything so far and we'd handle this too, but I couldn't, because I felt it too, that sense of dread. Like, we're not just going into another battle, we're going into something bigger, something that's going to change everything. The word spreading through the convoy, guys passing information from truck to truck during the brief stops. The Germans launched a massive offensive, biggest since the war started. 3 whole armies, panzer divisions, everything they've got. They smashed through the American lines in the Ardennes, surrounded some units, overran others. It's chaos, and we're being rushed in to stop it. We're under strength. We lost a lot of men in Holland. The replacements aren't trained properly yet. We don't have all our equipment. We don't have winter gear, but we're all they've got. The airborne, the elite, the screaming eagles. When the regular army gets in trouble, they call us. I should feel proud, honored. We're trusted with the tough missions, the impossible missions. I just feel cold and scared. Jimmy's across from me. His eyes are closed, but I know he's not sleeping. I can see his lips moving slightly, praying maybe, or maybe reciting something to himself. I caught his eye earlier. You okay, Jimmy? He nodded. Yeah, just thinking. About? My family. About why I'm here. Jimmy Chen, Nisei, second generation Japanese American. His parents came over from Japan in the early 20s. Worked hard, built a life, opened a grocery store in San Francisco. American dream stuff. Then Pearl Harbor happened. Executive Order 9066, February 1942. Every Japanese American on the West Coast got rounded up, given a week to sell everything or pack what they could carry, then shipped off to internment camps. Jimmy's family lost everything, the store, the house, their savings, everything. They're in Manzanar now, desert camp in California, barbed wire, guard towers, American citizens imprisoned by their own government. And here's Jimmy, volunteering to fight, jumping out of airplanes, getting shot at, bleeding for the country that did that to his family. I asked him once why he volunteered, why he'd fight for a country that treated him like that. To prove we're loyal, he said. To prove we're American. Maybe if enough of us serve, if enough of us bleed, they'll realize we're not the enemy. We're just as American as anyone. Should have to prove it like that. But here he is, bravest guy I know. Frank just shifted in his sleep. He's actually managed to doze off, his head resting against the truck side. His BAR is cradled in his arms like a baby. That Browning automatic rifle is his pride and joy. 20 pounds of steel and wood, 30-06 caliber, 20-round magazine. Can put out sustained fire that sounds like ripping canvas. Frank's the best BAR man in the platoon. Maybe the battalion. He's got the touch for it. Knows exactly how to control the recoil, when to fire in bursts, when to let it rip. He saved our asses more than once with that weapon. He's a quiet guy. Doesn't talk much about his life before the war. I know he worked in Detroit. Auto plants, building cars. He's got big hands. Mechanic's hands, strong, capable. He can fix anything. Engines, radios, weapons. If it's broken, Frank can probably fix it. The truck's slowing down. Traffic jam, maybe. I can hear vehicles honking up ahead, voices yelling. The whole convoy stopped. We're sitting here in the cold and dark, waiting, not knowing what's ahead, not knowing when we'll move again. One of the replacements, kid named Miller, asked Sergeant Henderson what we should expect. Henderson looked at him for a long moment, then said, "Expect to do your job. Expect to follow orders. Expect to take care of the man next to you. That's all you need to know." Miller nodded, but he didn't look satisfied. He wanted specifics, details, some kind of reassurance. Henderson can't give him that. None of us can. We don't know what we're walking into. All we know is the Germans are coming and we're going to stop them, or die trying. The truck's moving again, jerking forward. We're underway. I'm going to try to sleep. Probably won't happen, but I should try. God knows when I'll get another chance. Helen, if you somehow read this, I'm thinking about you. About that dance we went to in 43. Remember? The USO dance at the armory. You wore that blue dress, the one with the white collar. We danced to Glenn Miller. Moonlight Serenade. You said it was your favorite song. We swayed together on that crowded floor, and for a few minutes the war didn't exist. There was just you and me and the music. I want that again. I want to dance with you again. I want to take you to dinner at Bonato's. I want to walk around Lake Scranton. I want all the normal, boring things that seemed so pointless before the war. Now they seem like everything. I'm coming home, Helen. I promise. I'm coming home, and we're going to have that life we talked about. Just have to survive whatever's waiting in Belgium first. The flashlight's dying, battery running low. I should save it. More later if I can. December 19th, 1944, early morning. Outskirts of Bastogne, Belgium. We arrived at dawn. I've never seen anything like this. The roads are clogged with refugees, thousands of them. Belgians fleeing the German advance. Old men pushing wheelbarrows loaded with whatever they could grab. Women carrying children. Kids clutching toys. Everyone moving west. Away from the fighting. Their faces. God, their faces. Terror, exhaustion, despair. These are people whose homes are being overrun, who are losing everything, who don't know if they'll survive the day. We passed an old woman sitting on the roadside. She was just sitting there in the snow, staring at nothing. Her hands were empty, no bags, no possessions. Like she'd just given up, couldn't walk anymore, couldn't run anymore. A little girl walked by clutching a doll. She couldn't have been more than 6 or 7. Dark hair, big eyes. She looked right at me as our truck passed. Didn't say anything. Just looked. She reminded me of my sister Catherine. My throat got tight. Had to look away. These people are running from what we're driving toward. The convoy finally stopped on the southeastern edge of Bastogne. The town's not much to look at. Small city. Maybe a few thousand people normally. But right now it's chaos. Military vehicles everywhere. Soldiers rushing around. Refugees streaming through. Artillery in the distance. Constant rumble like thunder that doesn't stop. We dismounted from the trucks. Stiff. Cold. Exhausted from the overnight ride. But there was no time to rest. Officers were already organizing us. Lieutenant Decker gathered the platoon. We're deploying to defensive positions southeast of town, near a village called Bizori. The Germans have broken through all around us. We're here to hold Bastogne. This town is critical. 7 roads meet here. If the Germans take it, they can move supplies and reinforcements through. If we hold it, we choke their advance. You understand? We understood. Grab your gear, form up. We move in 5. Sergeant Henderson was already moving through the squad, checking weapons, checking gear, making sure everyone was ready. He stopped at me. "Callahan, you good?" "Yes, Sergeant." He looked at me for a moment, reading me. Henderson's got this ability to see right through you. Know when you're scared, when you're lying, when you're about to break. "You've been through this before," he said. "Normandy, Holland, you know what to do." "Yes, Sergeant." "Then do it, and keep Chen and Dombrowski alive while you're at it." He almost smiled. "That's an order." "Yes, Sergeant." He moved on to the next man. We marched out. Full combat gear, rifles, ammo, grenades, packs, everything heavy, everything awkward, but we're used to it. The landscape around Bastogne is rolling farmland, fields, patches of woods, small villages dotting the countryside. It's probably pretty in summer. Right now, it's just cold, gray. The ground's covered with a light layer of snow, more falling. We reached our assigned sector around 0800, 8 in the morning, the area near Bizori. There's a village maybe a mile to our east, some farmhouses, a barn, woods beyond. Dig in, Henderson ordered. Defensive positions, overlapping fields of fire, do it right. So we started digging, or trying to. The ground is frozen solid, like concrete. Every shovel strike barely chips away anything. My hands are already blistered, and we've only been at it 20 minutes. I'm sharing a foxhole position with Jimmy. We're taking turns. One digs while the other rests. Then switch. It's brutal work. How deep we going, Tommy? Jimmy asked. As deep as we can, deep enough to save our lives. We dug and dug and dug. After 2 hours, we've maybe gotten down 2.5 feet. Not nearly deep enough. A proper foxhole should be at least 4 feet. 5 if you can manage it. Deep enough that you can stand and still have cover. Deep enough that artillery shrapnel passes over. But the ground won't cooperate. Frank's position is maybe 20 yards to our right. I can hear him cursing as he battles the frozen earth. Eddie's to our left. Same struggle. The replacements are working too. They're trying, but you can see the fear on their faces, the uncertainty. They're wondering what they've gotten into. Welcome to the war, kids. Around noon, we heard it. Artillery, not close, maybe a mile or two to the north, but close enough. The dull crump of explosions, the ground trembling slightly. Someone's catching hell up there. Henderson came by our position, checked our progress, frowned. That's all you've got? Ground's frozen solid, Sarge, I said. I know, everyone's having the same problem. Just do your best, and set up proper fields of fire. Make sure you can see the approaches. Make sure you've got cover. Yes, Sergeant. He looked toward the east, toward the German positions. They're out there, probing, looking for weak spots. Won't be long before they find us. Then he moved on to the next position. I looked at Jimmy. His hands were raw, bleeding. Mine probably looked the same. Back to digging, he said. Back to digging. The temperature's dropping, the wind's picking up, cutting right through our uniforms. We're all shivering, teeth chattering, and we've only been here a few hours. This is going to be bad. Eddie came over during a break, bummed a cigarette from Frank. We all huddled together, trying to block the wind, trying to get a moment of warmth from the cigarettes. So what do you think? Eddie asked. Germans gonna hit us today? Maybe, Frank said. Or maybe tomorrow, or the next day. They're out there. Just a matter of when. Think we can hold? Frank shrugged. We're paratroopers. We don't have a choice. That's the truth. We're the airborne. We're the ones they send when the situation's desperate, when regular infantry can't do it, when someone needs to hold against impossible odds. That's us. Lucky us. The cigarette break ended. Back to work. Back to the frozen ground. By mid-afternoon, we'd gotten the foxhole down maybe 3 feet. Still not enough, but it'll have to do. We set up our position, made sure we had good lines of sight to the east, made sure we could support Frank's position on the right and Eddie's on the left, made sure we had some overhead cover, branches, and dirt in case of artillery. It's not perfect, but it's something. I'm sitting in the foxhole now. My feet are already going numb from the cold. My hands are stiff. The blisters are burning. This is only day 1. How long are we supposed to hold here? Henderson says we'll know more soon, says the brass is figuring out the situation, says we'll get orders. But right now we're just here, in frozen foxholes, waiting for the Germans to come. Jimmy's next to me. He's got his rifle across his knees. His eyes are scanning the tree line to the east. See anything? I asked. No, but they're there. How do you know? I can feel it. I can feel it too. That prickle on the back of your neck. That sense of being watched, being hunted. Somewhere out there in those woods, German soldiers are looking back at us, planning, preparing. Soon we'll meet. Soon this will turn from digging and waiting into shooting and dying. I'm trying not to think about it, trying to stay focused on the now, on the immediate tasks. Check rifle, check ammo, check grenades, check position. One step at a time, one moment at a time, that's how you survive. The sun's getting lower, it'll be dark soon, full dark. And then we'll really be vulnerable. Henderson's setting up a watch rotation, 2 hours on, 4 hours off, someone always awake, always watching. I've got the first watch, 2000 to 2200, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., Jimmy will sleep, if he can sleep. Then he'll take over. The temperature's still dropping. I can see my breath. My fingers are so cold they're starting to hurt. That deep, aching cold that gets into your bones. And we left our winter gear behind. Won't need it, they said. Be back in a few days, they said. Right. From somewhere to the north, more artillery. Heavier this time. Prolonged barrage. Someone's really getting hit. I wonder who's up there, what unit, if they're holding, if they're getting overrun. I wonder if we'll be next. Can't think like that. Have to stay positive. Have to believe we'll make it. We're the Screaming Eagles. We're Currahee. We stand alone. We've got this Odysseus. We have two. The alternative is unthinkable. December 19th, 1944, evening. They came at dusk. Not a full attack, just a probe. Testing our positions. Seeing what we've got. Seeing how we'll react. But it was real. Real bullets. Real Germans. Real fear. I need to write this down while it's fresh. While I can still remember every detail. It started around 1730. 5:30 p.m. The sun was setting. Everything turning that gray twilight color where it's hard to see clearly. Shadows everywhere. I was in the foxhole with Jimmy. We were both on watch. Both scanning the tree line to the east. Both cold and miserable and tired. Then I saw movement. At first I thought my eyes were playing tricks. The low light, the shadows, the exhaustion. But no, there was definitely movement in the trees. Jimmy, I whispered. You see that? Yeah, movement, tree line, maybe 50 meters? I looked closer. Dark shapes, moving low, careful, professional, Germans. My heart started pounding. That surge of adrenaline. That electric fear that makes everything sharp and clear and terrifying. How many? Jimmy whispered. Can't tell. Maybe a dozen? Should we shoot? Wait for Henderson's signal. The shapes got closer. 40 meters, 30. I could make out details now. Helmets, different shape than ours, more angular, gray-green uniforms, rifles, the enemy, right there, coming toward us. My hands were shaking. I gripped my Garand tighter, tried to steady myself, tried to breathe. Wait for it, Henderson's voice carried across our positions. Calm, steady. Wait for my signal. The Germans got closer, 25 meters, 20. I could see their faces now, young faces, probably my age, maybe younger, scared faces, just like us. Fire! The whole line erupted. I squeezed the trigger, once. The Garand kicked against my shoulder, spent shell ejected. I worked the action, fired again, and again. The noise was incredible. Dozens of rifles firing, the sharp crack, crack, crack of M1s, the deeper boom of the BAR, the sound of bullets hitting trees, hitting dirt, hitting flesh. Tracers started arcing through the twilight. Red streaks from our positions. American tracers are red. I learned that in training, but seeing it for real is different, beautiful and terrible at the same time. The Germans fired back. Their tracers are white, white streaks coming toward us. I heard bullets crack past overhead. That distinctive sound, like someone snapping a whip. I kept firing, methodically. Like in training, aim, squeeze, work the action, aim, squeeze. Did I hit anyone? I couldn't tell. Too much chaos, too much smoke, too much confusion. The Germans were falling back, retreating into the trees. We kept firing, sending them running, and then it was over. Maybe 10 minutes total, maybe less. Hard to say. Time does weird things in combat. The shooting stopped, the Germans were gone. Back into the trees, back to wherever they came from. Silence. Except for the ringing in my ears, except for my heart hammering, except for the heavy breathing of everyone in the foxholes around me. Sound off? Henderson's voice. Everyone okay? One by one we answered. Okay here. Good here? All good, Sarge. Then from Eddie's position, I'm hit. My stomach dropped. Stay down, Henderson ordered. I'm coming to you. I watched Henderson move, low, fast, combat crouch. He reached Eddie's foxhole and disappeared into it. Seconds felt like hours. Then, medic, need a medic here? Doc Sutton, our platoon medic, was already moving. He's good, Real good. Fast. Efficient. Carries his medical bag everywhere. Never complains. Never hesitates. He reached Eddie's position. I could hear voices but couldn't make out words. Jimmy was gripping his rifle so hard his knuckles were white. Is Eddie okay? I don't know. We waited. Helpless. Useless. Finally, Henderson came back to his command position. Eddie took shrapnel in the leg. Doc's patching him up. He'll be evacuated to the aid station in town. How bad? Someone asked. Bad enough, but he'll live. Eddie Malone, my friend, my poker buddy, the guy who always had a joke, always had a cigarette to share. Hit, wounded, gone. And we just got here. This is only day one. I felt sick. My hands were shaking. Not from cold now. From reaction, from fear, from the realization of how real this is. I fired my rifle at people tonight. I might have killed someone. Probably did, statistically. The law of averages says if you fire enough rounds at enough people, some of them will hit. Did I kill someone? I don't know. I don't want to know. But I'll probably find out eventually. They evacuated Eddie maybe 20 minutes later. Stretcher bearers came up from the rear, loaded him up, carried him back toward town. I watched them go, watched Eddie's form on the stretcher disappearing into the darkness. Good luck, Eddie, I whispered. Jimmy put his hand on my shoulder. He'll be okay. Doc said he'll live. I know, but he's gone. Our squad's already down a man. We'll make it. We have to. The night settled in. Full dark now. Cold. The temperature dropping even more. Henderson came by our position. You boys did good. First contact and you kept your heads. That's what counts. Thank you, Sergeant. He looked at both of us. Eddie getting hit, that's hard. But you can't let it shake you. You understand? People get hit in combat. People die. That's war. You grieve later. Right now you focus on staying alive and keeping the men around you alive. You got that? Yes, Sergeant. Good. Get some rest. I'll take first watch at this position. Sergeant, that's our watch. I said I'll take it. You two get some sleep. You're going to need it. He wasn't asking. It was an order. So Jimmy and I tried to sleep, curled up at the bottom of the foxhole, trying to stay warm, trying to stop shaking. I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those shapes coming from the trees, saw the muzzle flashes, heard the bullets cracking past. I thought combat would make me feel something, brave maybe, or strong, or capable. I just feel scared and cold and far from home. Eddie's blood is probably still in his foxhole, soaking into the frozen ground. A piece of him left behind. How much of us will we leave in these Belgian fields before this is over? How much blood will soak into this frozen earth? I'm 22 years old, and I'm wondering if I'll see 23. That's a hell of a thought. But it's real. More real than anything I've ever known. This is war. This is what it actually is. Not the movies, not the propaganda, not the glory stories. Just scared kids in frozen holes shooting at other scared kids, trying to survive until morning. One more hour until my watch, until I have to be alert again, watching for more shadows, more Germans, more death. One more hour. I'll try to rest. I'll try not to think about Eddie. I'll try not to wonder who's next. December 20th, 1944, morning. The word came down at 0700 this morning. We're completely surrounded. The Germans have cut all the roads. Every single one of the 7 roads leading into Bastogne. Cut. Blocked. Controlled by German forces. We're trapped. No way in, no way out. No resupply except by air. And the weather's too bad for airdrops right now. Thick fog, low clouds, nothing's flying. We're on our own. I'm sitting in the foxhole trying to process this, trying to understand what it means. Surrounded. The word keeps echoing in my head. Surrounded. The reactions around me are mixed. Some guys are freaking out. Quietly, but you can see it. The panic in their eyes, the shaking hands, the too quick breathing. Others are angry, cursing, throwing things, trying things, taking out their fear on whatever's nearby. A few are just silent, staring at nothing, processing. Jimmy's in the silent category. He's been sitting here for 20 minutes, his rifle across his knees, just staring east toward the German lines. You okay? I asked. He didn't answer for a long time. Then, we're trapped, Tommy. They've got us surrounded, outnumbered, outgunned. How are we supposed to survive this? We're paratroopers, I said, echoing what Henderson told us. We're supposed to be surrounded. It's what we do. That's just words. Maybe, but it's all we've got. He went back to staring. Frank came by about half an hour ago. His face was grim but determined. You guys heard? Yeah, I said. Surrounded. So we fight our way out, right? That's what paratroopers do. We fight. Henderson says we're holding. We're not breaking out. We're staying. Staying? While they surround us? While they bring up more forces? That's the order. Bastogne is critical. We hold it. Frank shook his head. This is insane. Maybe it is, but it's what we're doing. Around 0900, Lieutenant Decker gathered the platoon. Read us a message from General McAuliffe, the division commander. Men, we find ourselves in a unique tactical situation. The enemy has us surrounded. Some might see this as a disadvantage. I see it as an opportunity. We're paratroopers. We're trained to operate behind enemy lines. Surrounded is our natural state. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to hold Bastogne. We're going to make the Germans pay for every yard, and we're going to show them what American paratroopers can do. Currahee! Currahee! We shouted back, automatically. The response drilled into us from our first days at Camp Toccoa. It helped. A little. The fear's still there. The knowledge that we're trapped, but there's also determination now. Pride. We're the 101st. We're the best. We don't surrender. We don't run. We hold. Even when it seems impossible. Especially when it seems impossible. The rest of the morning has been about fortification, improving our positions, setting up better fields of fire, creating interlocking defensive zones. Sergeant Henderson has us working in shifts, half the squad improving the foxhole, the other half on watch. Jimmy and I spent 2 hours making our foxhole deeper. The ground's still frozen, but we're making progress. Down to maybe 4 feet now. Getting there. We also built up the sides, piled dirt and snow to give us better protection, cut some branches for overhead cover. Won't stop a direct hit, but might deflect shrapnel. It's something. Around 1100 we saw them. German tanks. They were maybe 800 meters away, moving along the tree line to the east. Big bastards. Someone said they were Panthers. German medium tanks. Better armor than our Shermans. Better gun. Better everything, really. We counted 4 of them. Just rolling along. Casual. Like they owned the place. Which I guess they kind of do. They've got us surrounded after all. Can we hit those? One of the replacements asked. Henderson shook his head. Not from here. We've got small arms. Maybe some bazookas, but they're out of range. We'd need anti-tank guns or our own armor. Where's our armor? Don't know. Probably somewhere else on the perimeter. We've got what we've got. The tanks disappeared into the woods, heading somewhere else, probing the perimeter probably, looking for weak spots. I hope they don't find any. The ammunition situation is already concerning. We're being told to conserve. Make every shot count. No wasting rounds on long-range pot shots or suppression fire. Each shot has to matter. I've got 80 rounds for my Garand, 10 clips of 8. That seems like a lot until you think about days or weeks of fighting. Then it's not much at all. Jimmy's got maybe 90 rounds for his carbine. Frank's being real careful with his BAR. He's got maybe 300 rounds. Sounds like a lot for an automatic weapon, but it'll go fast once the shooting starts. Food's being rationed too. 1K ration per day. That's it. Each K ration box has some crackers, cheese, a meat product, some kind of dessert, instant, coffee, cigarettes. It's not much. I had my breakfast ration this morning. The cheese was like eating wax. The crackers were stale. The coffee, when I finally got some hot water to make it, was terrible. But it was food. It was calories. My stomach's already growling again. Going to be a long day. The cold is constant, relentless. It seeps into everything. Your clothes, your skin, your bones. No matter what you do, you can't get warm. My feet are the worst. I can't feel my toes anymore. I'm wiggling them constantly, trying to force blood into them, but I can't tell if it's working. Frank told me earlier to watch for frostbite. Toes and fingers first, he said. If they go white and waxy, that's bad. Real bad. You can lose them. Great. So I'm fighting Germans and frostbite at the same time. Jimmy and I are trying to stay warm by moving around. Can't leave the foxhole, but we can shift positions, stand up, sit down, flex our muscles, anything to generate heat. It's not enough. We need real winter gear, coats, better gloves, better boots. But we left all that in Mourmelon. Won't need it, they said. I hate whoever said that. Around 1400, 2 p.m., artillery started. Not ours. Theirs. German 88s probably. We heard them coming before we saw the impacts. That distinctive whistle, rising in pitch, getting closer. Down, Henderson yelled. We pressed ourselves flat at the bottom of the foxhole, hands over our helmets, praying. The shells hit maybe 300 meters away, 6 or 7 in rapid succession. The ground shook, dirt and snow rained down on us. The concussion was like getting punched in the chest. Then silence. Then more whistling. Another salvo. Closer this time, maybe 200 meters. They're ranging, finding the distance, getting dialed in. If they get it right, if they put shells right on our positions, we're dead. A foxhole won't save you from a direct hit. Not even close. The third salvo hit even closer, maybe 100 meters. I could feel the heat from the explosions, could smell the cordite. Then it stopped. We waited, expecting more, expecting them to drop the next salvo right on top of us, but nothing came. Stay down, Henderson ordered. Don't assume it's over. We stayed down. 5 minutes, 10, 15. Finally, okay, sound off. Everyone good? One by one we responded. Everyone okay. Nobody hit, this time. But it's just the beginning. The Germans know where we are now. They're testing us, finding our positions. Soon they'll hit us for real, and we can't move, can't retreat, can't relocate. We're stuck here, in these foxholes, waiting for the next barrage, waiting for the next attack, waiting for death or relief. Whichever comes first. I'm looking at the sky, gray, low, heavy with clouds. No planes, no resupply, no support, just us and the Germans and the cold. This is day 2. How many more days? How long can we last? I don't know. Nobody knows. We just have to hold. 1 day at a time, 1 hour at a time. Hold until relief comes. If relief comes, it has to come. It has to. Because if it doesn't, we're not leaving Bastogne alive. December 20th, 1944. Night. I'm sharing this frozen foxhole with Jimmy Chen, and I don't think either of us is going to survive the night. Not from Germans. From the cold. The temperature has dropped so far I can't believe it's real. My breath comes out in clouds so thick I can barely see through them. The metal of my rifle is so cold, it burns to touch. I have to keep my hands in my armpits just to maintain any feeling in my fingers. My feet are gone. Completely numb. I've been wiggling my toes for hours, but I can't feel anything. I'm terrified to take off my boots and look. Terrified of what I'll find. Jimmy's in the same shape. Worse maybe. He's shivering so hard his teeth are chattering like a machine gun. He can't stop. Can't control it. We're huddled together at the bottom of the foxhole, pressed against each other, sharing what little body heat we have. It's not enough. It's nowhere near enough. But it's all we've got. The stars are out tonight, thousands of them. Brilliant and cold and distant. The moon's up too. Just a sliver, but enough to cast shadows. Enough to turn the snow-covered landscape into this otherworldly scene. Beautiful if you weren't freezing to death in it. We've been talking, whispering, partly to pass the time, partly to stay awake. If we fall asleep in this cold, we might not wake up. Tell me about San Francisco, I said maybe an hour ago. Tell me something good. Jimmy was quiet for a bit, then, there's this place, Fisherman's Wharf, down by the bay. My dad used to take me there when I was a kid, before he had the store, when he was still fishing. Yeah? We'd go early, before dawn, watch the boats go out, the smell of the ocean, the sound of the gulls, the fishermen calling to each other. It was perfect. Sounds nice. My dad would buy me breakfast, these crab cakes from this little stand. Best thing I've ever tasted. We'd sit on the pier and eat and watch the sun come up over the bay. His voice got thick. I miss it, Tommy. I miss home. I miss my parents. I even miss that damn store. Stocking shelves, sweeping floors, all of it. You'll see it again. You think? I know it. We're getting out of here. We're going to survive this. And when the war's over, You're going to take me to Fisherman's Wharf. Show me those crab cakes. He almost laughed. Yeah, okay, it's a deal. And you're going to find Mary, that girl from the store. You're going to ask her out. If she'll have me. She will, trust me. We fell silent again. Just the wind, just the cold, just our breathing. Then Jimmy said, I'm scared, Tommy. I'm really scared. Me too. No, I mean really scared. Like, I can't stop thinking about dying, about how it's going to happen. Will I see it coming? Will it hurt? Will I just cease to exist? I didn't have an answer, because I think about the same things all the time. My dad's in Manzanar, Jimmy continued, behind barbed wire, because of his race, because of where his parents were born. And here I am, fighting, dying maybe, for the country that did that. For the country that will get better, I said. Has to get better. Does it? What if we win this war and nothing changes? What if they keep my family locked up? What if all this suffering is for nothing? It's not for nothing. It can't be. How do you know? Because if it is, if all this death and pain is meaningless, then what's the point? There has to be a point. There has to be something worth fighting for. Jimmy was quiet for a long time. Then, I think I'm fighting for my family, to prove they deserve to be free, to prove we're loyal, that we belong. You shouldn't have to prove that. I know, but I do. So here I am, freezing to death in Belgium. He laughed, bitter, sad. Promise me something, he said. What? If I don't make it, if I die here, tell my family I did okay, that I wasn't a coward, that I tried. Jimmy, promise me, Tommy. Okay, I promise. But you have to promise me the same thing. He stuck out his gloved hand. I took it. We shook. Deal, he said. Two scared kids in a frozen hole making promises about death. This is what war is. From somewhere out in the darkness between our lines and the German lines, someone's screaming. A wounded man. Can't tell if he's American or German. Can't tell if he's calling for help or just expressing pain. The sound is awful, primal, pure suffering. It goes on and on, minutes that feel like hours. Then it stops. Either he died or he passed out or someone put him out of his misery. The silence after is worse than the screaming. Jimmy's shaking. I don't want to die like that, alone, in the dark, in the cold. You won't. How do you know? Because I'm here. I'm not leaving you. If something happens, you won't be alone. I promise. He nodded, didn't say anything, but I felt him relax slightly. That's what this is about. Not the grand strategy, not the battle for Bastogne, not the war. It's about the person next to you, the guy in your foxhole, your squad, your friends. You fight for them. You survive for them. You die for them if you have to. Everything else is just noise. I'm thinking about home. Can't help it. Scranton feels like a dream now, like something I imagined. Mom's kitchen, the smell of pierogies cooking, Dad's voice reading the newspaper, Margaret practicing piano, Catherine playing with her dolls. All of it a million miles away. A different world. A world where you're warm, where you're safe, where you're not wondering if you'll see morning. Helen's probably in bed right now. It's 1 a.m. in Pennsylvania? She's sleeping, dreaming, not knowing I'm here, not knowing I'm freezing, not knowing I might die. That's good. I don't want her to know, don't want her to worry. When this is over, if I survive, I'll tell her everything. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll keep it locked inside. Maybe some things are too dark to share. I don't know. Right now I just want to survive the night. The stars are so bright, so cold, so indifferent. They don't care if I live or die. They'll be there tomorrow night whether I am or not. That's weirdly comforting. The universe doesn't care. It just is. All we can do is try to survive, try to find meaning, try to protect the people we care about. Try. That's all. Jimmy's dozed off. Or maybe passed out. I should probably wake him. Sleeping in this cold is dangerous. But I can't bring myself to do it. Let him have a few minutes of unconsciousness. A few minutes where he's not terrified. I'll keep watch. Make sure he's still breathing. Make sure he doesn't freeze. That's my job right now. Keep Jimmy alive through the night. Keep myself alive through the night. See the sun come up. One more day. That's all I'm asking for. One more day. 4 more hours until dawn. I can make it 4 more hours. I have to. For Jimmy. for Henderson, for everyone counting on me, for Helen and Mom and Dad and my sisters, for myself. 4 more hours, 1 more night. Then we do it all over again tomorrow. This is war. This is Bastogne. This is hell. December 21st, 1944, morning, dawn came. We survived the night. I need to write that down, make it real. Jimmy and I made it through that frozen hell and we're still alive. Barely. When the first light started creeping over the horizon, gray and weak and cold, I looked at Jimmy. Really looked at him. His face was white. Not pale. White. Like wax. His lips had a blue tinge. His eyes were sunken. He looked like a corpse. Jimmy, I shook him. Jimmy, wake up. He didn't respond. Jimmy! Harder this time, panic rising. His eyes fluttered open, unfocused, confused. Tommy? Yeah, it's me. You're okay, we made it. He tried to move and groaned. Can't feel my legs. Don't move yet, let me check you. I ran my hands over his legs, looking for wounds, for blood, for anything wrong besides the cold. Nothing. Just frozen. It's the cold, I told him. Your circulation's shut down. We need to get you moving. Get blood flowing. Can't. Too tired. Jimmy, you have to. If you don't move, you'll die. You understand? You'll freeze to death. That got through. Fear is a powerful motivator. He started moving. Slow. Painful. But moving. I helped him sit up, then stand. We held on to each other. 2 frozen scarecrows swaying in a foxhole. Walk, I ordered. Small steps. In place. Just move. We walked. Or tried to. Our legs barely worked. Our feet were blocks of ice. But we moved. 5 minutes. 10. Slowly, painfully, feeling started returning. That horrible pins and needles sensation, like being stabbed by 1,000 tiny knives. But it meant we weren't frostbitten. Not completely, not yet. Frank appeared at our foxhole. He looked almost as bad as we felt. You boys alive? Barely, I said. You? Same. That was the worst night of my life. And I've had some bad nights. Any word on casualties? His face darkened. 3 guys didn't make it. Froze to death in their foxholes. Jesus. 3 men. Dead. Not from German bullets. From the cold. Who? Jimmy asked. Frank named them. Replacements mostly. Guys we barely knew, but still. 3 lives. 3 families who'll get telegrams. 3 mothers who'll cry. Because of the cold. We need better gear, I said. We can't survive like this. No shit, Henderson's already putting in requests. But we're surrounded, Tommy. Surrounded and cut off. No resupply. No convoys, nothing. What about airdrops? Weather's too bad. Fog, low clouds, nothing's flying. So we're stuck, freezing, dying, with no help coming. Great. The morning brought other horrors. Around 0700 we saw the German positions more clearly. They'd been busy during the night, fortifying, bringing up more men, more equipment. We could see tanks, lots of tanks, Panthers, TIE Tigers, some smaller ones, Panzer 44s maybe, all dug in, all pointing at us. Count them, Henderson ordered. We counted, 15 tanks visible from our position, and that's just what we could see. Who knows how many more were hidden in the woods, behind the hills, 15 to 0. We don't have any armor in our sector, just infantry, just us. How are we supposed to stop tanks? One of the replacements asked. Bazookas, Frank said, and prayer. The kid didn't look reassured. Around 0900 the shelling started again. German artillery, methodical, precise. They'd range in on a section of our line, drop maybe 20 rounds, then shift to the next section. They were working their way around the perimeter, hitting everything, softening us up. When it was our turn, we had maybe 30 seconds warning, just the sound of shells in flight, that whistling scream, down. We pressed ourselves into the frozen earth, made ourselves as small as possible, prayed. The world exploded, Shells impacting all around us. The noise was beyond description. Each explosion felt like getting hit by a truck. The concussion, the overpressure. Your lungs compress, your ears pop, your brain rattles in your skull. Dirt and snow and shrapnel raining down. Hot metal hissing as it hit the cold ground. I counted 12 shells, 12 impacts in maybe 90 seconds. Then silence. I looked up, ears ringing, vision blurred, tasted blood. I'd bitten my tongue. Jimmy? He was curled in a ball, hands over his head shaking. Jimmy, you hit? He looked up, eyes wild. No, I'm okay. Frank? Good here. His voice from the next position. Henderson? All good. Sound off. One by one we responded. Miraculously, no casualties. Not in our platoon. Other units weren't so lucky. We could hear the medics being called, hear the screaming. Someone got hit. Someone always gets hit. The artillery barrage lasted maybe an hour total, moving up and down the line, hitting everyone. By the time it ended, the entire perimeter was cratered, trees shattered, buildings in Bastogne damaged, but we held. We survived. This time. Around mid-morning we got visitors. Belgian civilians, a family, old man, old woman, teenage granddaughter. They were trying to get to Bastogne, fleeing from a village to the east. The Germans had occupied it. They were running. Sergeant Henderson stopped them. Can't go that way. Roads are under fire. Too dangerous. The old man spoke some English. Please, we have nowhere. Henderson pointed to a barn about 400 meters behind our position. There, shelter there. Stay low. Stay quiet. Understand? The old man nodded. Thank you. Thank you. The granddaughter looked at me as they passed. She was maybe 15, 16, dark hair, huge eyes, terrified. She reminded me so much of Margaret, my sister, same age, same vulnerable look. I wanted to help, to protect her, to do something, but what could I do? They disappeared toward the barn. I watched them go, hoping they'd be safe, knowing they probably wouldn't be. Nothing's safe here. Tommy. I turned. Jimmy was looking at me. You okay? Yeah, just that girl. She reminded me of home. I know, but you can't think about that. Can't let it distract you. He was right, but it's hard. Hard to see civilians, innocent people, caught in this. They didn't ask for this war, didn't do anything to deserve it. But here they are, running, hiding, dying, just like us. The day dragged on, cold, miserable, tense. We took turns on watch, 2 hours at a time, scanning the German positions, looking for movement, for threats. Nothing happened. Just the cold, just the waiting. Food came at noon, half a K ration, shared between Jimmy and me. Some crackers. A tiny portion of cheese that tasted like cardboard. A few squares of chocolate. My stomach growled. Wanted more. Needed more. But that's all there was. I forced myself to eat slowly. Make it last. Each cracker, each bite of cheese, savor it. The chocolate went too fast, dissolved on my tongue, gone before I could really taste it. Jimmy shared his instant coffee. We managed to heat some water over a tiny fire, using pieces of ration box as fuel. The coffee was terrible, weak and bitter. But it was hot. That's all that mattered. The warmth going down, the brief heat in my stomach. It felt like a blessing. We sat there in the foxhole, hands wrapped around our canteen cups, soaking up what little warmth we could. You ever think about what you'll do after the war? Jimmy asked. All the time. What do you want to do? I thought about it. I don't know. Before the war, I wanted to be a teacher. History maybe, or English. Something where I could work with kids, help them learn. You'd be good at that. Maybe. What about you? Jimmy smiled, sad smile. I just want to go home, help my parents rebuild, get the store going again, live a normal life. That's all? That's everything. Normal, boring, safe. That's the dream now. Yeah, it is. Normal and boring used to sound terrible. Now it sounds like paradise. The afternoon brought more violence. Around 1500 hours we heard fighting to the north. Heavy fighting. Machine guns, explosions, the distinctive crack of tank guns. Someone was getting hit hard. We listened, helpless, unable to help. Just hoping they'd hold. The firing went on for maybe an hour. Intense, Sustained. Then it died down. Sporadic shots. Then nothing. Did they hold? Did they break? We didn't know. Henderson came by around 1600. That was the Foy sector. Germans hit them with armor and infantry. They held, barely, lost a lot of men. How many? Don't know exact numbers. Too many. He looked at us. Really looked at us. This is just the beginning. The Germans are probing, testing, finding weak spots. Soon they'll hit us for real. When they do, you need to be ready. You understand? Yes, Sergeant. Get some rest. Eat if you have anything left. Check your weapons, check your ammo, and pray. Then he was gone. I checked my Garand, cleaned it as best I could with frozen fingers. The action was stiff from the cold. I worked it, over and over, until it moved smoothly. Checked my ammo, still 80 rounds, 10 clips, 2 grenades, not enough, never enough. But it's what I've got. Jimmy was doing the same with his carbine. Methodical, careful. Frank came over. You boys ready for this? No, I said honestly, but we don't have a choice. Never do in this war. He sat on the edge of our foxhole, his BAR across his lap. I've been thinking about Detroit, about home, about the plant where I worked. Yeah? It was loud, dirty, repetitive. I hated it. Complained about it all the time. Now, I'd give anything to be back there, stamping out car doors, breathing in metal dust, going home to my apartment every night. You will, when this is over. You really believe that? I have to. He nodded. Yeah, me too. We sat in silence. 3 guys from different parts of America, thrown together by war, bound together by survival. Brothers now. Not by blood, by choice, by circumstance. The sun setting, the temperatures dropping again. Another brutal night coming. But we'll face it together. That's something. That's everything. December 21st, 1944, night. I'm writing this by the light of a tiny candle stub, shielding it with my body so the Germans don't see. It's been a strange night, quiet in some ways, terrible in others. The cold is worse than last night. Didn't think that was possible, but it is. The wind is picked up, cutting through our uniforms like knives, freezing any exposed skin instantly. My face hurts. Not numb. Hurts. The skin feels tight and raw. My lips are cracked and bleeding. Every breath of cold air makes them worse. Jimmy and I are huddled together again, sharing body heat, trying to survive. But there's something different about tonight, something I need to write down. Around 2100 hours, 9 p.m. We heard something from the German lines, music. At first I thought I was hallucinating. Hypothermia maybe. The cold playing tricks on my mind. But Jimmy heard it too. You hear that? He whispered. Yeah, what is it? We listened, the sound carrying across the frozen landscape. A phonograph. Or maybe someone with an instrument, playing a song. Stille Nacht. Silent Night. The Germans were playing Silent Night. Then voices joined in. German soldiers singing. Stille Nacht. Heilige Nacht. Alles schläft. Einsam wacht. The melody drifted across no man's land, clear and pure and heartbreaking. Christmas is coming. 3 days away. And here we are, Americans and Germans, killing each other, freezing together, singing the same song. Someone in our line started singing, in English. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. Frank's voice. I recognized it. Big, deep, surprisingly beautiful. Others joined in, our whole sector, singing. The Germans kept singing their version. We sang ours. 2 languages, same song, same message. Peace. Hope. Something bigger than war. For maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10, we sang together. Across the battlefield. Across the hatred. Across everything that divided us. Just human beings. Celebrating the same moment. The same hope. When the song ended, there was silence. Then someone on the German side shouted, Frohe Weihnachten, Merry Christmas. Someone on our side shouted back, Merry Christmas to you too. A few guys laughed, not bitter laughter, real laughter, finding humor in the absurdity. Then it was quiet again. Back to war, back to enemies, back to reality. But for those few minutes, Jimmy was crying, not ashamed of it, just tears running down his frozen cheeks. "What are we doing, Tommy?" His voice was broken, raw. "What are we doing? We're singing the same songs, we're celebrating the same holiday, we probably believe in the same God, and we're killing each other." I didn't have an answer. "There's some German kid out there," Jimmy continued. "Maybe our age, maybe younger. He's got parents, maybe siblings, maybe a girl waiting for him. He's cold, he's scared, he's far from home, just like us." "I know." "And tomorrow we might kill each other. I might shoot him, he might shoot me. For what? For roads? For strategy? For politics we don't understand? For our countries, for our duty. Is that enough? Is duty enough reason to kill someone who's just like you?" I thought about Klaus, the German soldier I killed, his letters from his wife, his baby daughter. "No," I said quietly. "It's not enough. But it's all we have." We sat in silence. Frank came over, sat on the edge of our foxhole. "You guys okay?" "No," Jimmy said. "Not really." "Yeah, me neither." We sat together, three cold, scared guys, wondering about the meaning of it all. "My dad fought in the Great War," Frank said after a while. "France, trenches, mustard gas, the whole nightmare. He came home different, broken. He drank a lot. Couldn't hold a job, couldn't connect with us kids. I'm sorry," I said. "He told me once, right before I shipped out, he said, 'There's no glory in war, son, no matter what they tell you. It's just suffering and death and trying to survive.' I didn't understand then. I do now." "What happened to him?" Jimmy asked. "Died in 38, liver failure from the drinking, but he was already dead inside, had been since the war. The man who came back wasn't the man who left." "You think we'll be like that?" I asked. Frank was quiet for a long time, then, "Yeah, probably. How can you go through this and not be changed? How can you kill people, watch friends die, suffer like this, and then just go back to normal? So what do? We survive. We try to hold on to our humanity. We remember why we're fighting, and when it's over, we try to build something good, something worthy of the sacrifice." Noble words, but I don't know if I believe them. I don't know what I believe anymore. The candle's almost gone. Just a tiny stub of wax left. Jimmy's dozed off again, or passed out, hard to tell. Frank's gone back to his position. I'm alone with my thoughts, thinking about the Germans singing Silent Night, about Klaus and his family, about that teenage German prisoner yesterday, crying, "They're people, just people, and we're killing them, and they're killing us. For what? I wish I had a better answer, a clearer purpose, some certainty that this is right and necessary and just, but all I have is cold and fear and doubt." The stars are out again, brilliant, indifferent. Somewhere back home, in Scranton, in Boston, in San Francisco, in Detroit, in Munich, in Berlin, people are sleeping in warm beds, safe, unaware of what we're going through here. That's good. They shouldn't have to know, shouldn't have to feel this. But it also feels lonely, like we're in a different world, a frozen hell that the normal world can't touch. The candle just went out, full darkness now. I can hear Jimmy breathing, steady, alive. That's enough for now. Keep him alive, keep myself alive, keep everyone alive. That's the mission. Everything else is too complicated to think about. December 22nd, 1944, morning. Big news this morning, the kind that changes everything. Around 0700, Lieutenant Decker gathered the platoon. He looked excited, almost happy. First time I've seen him look anything but grim since we got here. "Listen up, I've got news from division. The Germans sent a surrender demand to General McAuliffe last night, under flag of truce. Very formal, very German." Everyone was silent, listening. "They said we're surrounded, outnumbered, that continued resistance is futile, that we should surrender to avoid needless bloodshed. They gave us 2 hours to respond." My stomach sank. Were we surrendering? After everything? But Decker was grinning now. General McAuliffe's response was one word. Just one word. He paused for effect. "Nuts." Silence. Then someone started laughing. Then everyone. "Nuts!" Frank shouted. "The German officers apparently didn't understand," Decker continued. They asked for clarification. Colonel Harper told them it means go to hell. The Germans left, empty-handed and pissed off. The laughter spread, real laughter, the kind that releases tension, that defies fear. Nuts! Someone else yelled. The word spread through the positions like wildfire. Within 10 minutes, everyone knew. Everyone was repeating it, laughing about it. Only McAuliffe, Eddie's gone. Only been gone a few days, but it feels like forever. Only Henderson would say something like that. Only Americans, Jimmy said, grinning. Only we would tell the Germans to go to hell when we're surrounded and outnumbered. Damn right, Frank agreed. That's who we are. The morale boost was incredible. Yesterday we were frozen, desperate, questioning everything. Today we're defiant, proud, ready to fight. One word did that. Nuts. It's perfect. It's American. It's us. Henderson came by our position an hour later. He was actually smiling. You boys hear the news? Nuts, we shouted back. He laughed. That's right, nuts. The general told the Krauts what we're all thinking. We're not quitting. We're not surrendering. They want Bastogne. They'll have to take it from our cold, dead hands. Sergeant, I said, what if they do? Take it, I mean. They've got tanks, artillery, more men, more everything. Henderson's smile faded, back to serious. Then we make them pay for every inch, every yard, every building. We fight until relief comes. And relief is coming, Callahan. The Third Army's pushing north. Patton's on his way. We just have to hold until he gets here. How long? Days. Maybe a week. Can you hold a week? Could I? Could any of us? Yes, Sergeant. We can hold. Good. Because you're going to have to. The rest of the morning was relatively quiet, some artillery exchanges, both sides shooting, both sides conserving ammunition. We're all running low, Germans too, probably. That's one advantage of them being overextended. Their supply lines are stretched. Ours are just cut. Around 1100 hours, the fog started lifting, the clouds breaking up. Patches of blue showing through, clear sky. Planes, Jimmy said. Clear sky means planes can fly. Supply drop? Maybe? God, I hope so. We waited, watching the sky, praying. And then we heard them. The drone of engines, distant at first, then louder, coming from the west. C-47s, Douglas transports, lots of them. There, someone shouted. We looked up. The sky was filling with aircraft, dozens of them, flying in formation, steady, beautiful, coming right toward us. They're ours, Frank was yelling. They're ours. Everyone scrambled out of foxholes, watching, pointing, cheering. The planes came in low, maybe 1,000 feet, close enough that we could see the markings, the white star on the fuselage. American. And then the parachutes started opening, red parachutes, blue, yellow, green, white, every color. Hundreds of them. Thousands, maybe. Supply bundles, floating down like gifts from heaven. I've never seen anything more beautiful in my life. Guys were crying. Actually crying. Grown men, hardened soldiers, tears streaming down their faces. I might have been one of them. My eyes were wet, from the cold, I told myself. But it wasn't the cold. It was relief, hope, salvation. The planes kept coming, wave after wave, the parachutes filling the sky, ammunition, food, medical supplies, everything we needed, everything that would keep us alive. Some bundles landed inside our perimeter. Some landed just outside, in no man's land between us and the Germans. Recovery teams. Henderson was organizing immediately. Move fast, grab what you can, watch for snipers. Jimmy and I volunteered. We scrambled out of the foxhole and ran. The adrenaline killed the cold, killed the exhaustion. We were running, actually running. Toward the parachutes, toward life. I reached a bundle with a green parachute, tore at the straps. Inside, ammunition boxes. 75mm shells for the artillery. Beautiful. Precious. I grabbed what I could carry, maybe 40 pounds. Started running back. Made it. Dropped the shells at the collection point. Ran out again. Second trip. Blue parachute. Medical supplies. Bandages. Morphine. sulfur powder, all of it desperately needed. Grabbed it, ran back, third trip, red parachute, K rations, boxes and boxes of K rations, food. I wanted to kiss the box. Made maybe 5 trips total. Jimmy made 4. Frank made 6. He's stronger, can carry more. We recovered maybe 70% of the drop in our sector. The rest fell to the Germans or landed where we couldn't reach it. But 70% was enough, more than enough. By noon, we had supplies, real supplies. Ammunition distributed, food distributed, medical supplies to the aid stations. I got a full K ration, 3 boxes, breakfast, dinner, supper, more than I'd had in days. Jimmy and I sat in our foxhole and ate, slowly, savoring every bite. The cheese still tasted like cardboard. The crackers were still stale, but we had enough. That made all the difference. The chocolate bars, we each got 2, were divine. Pure bliss. I made mine last. Tiny bites, letting each piece melt on my tongue. Best chocolate ever, Jimmy said. Amen to that. We made instant coffee with snow we melted. The coffee was terrible but hot. The heat going down felt like a miracle. Frank came over, grinning. You boys see that? You see what just happened? We're not alone, I said. They haven't forgotten us. Damn right they haven't. Patton's coming. The Air Force is with us. We're going to make it. For the first time since we got here, I believed him. We might actually survive this. The afternoon brought more gifts. Around 1,300 the P-47s arrived. Thunderbolts, fighter bombers, Republic P-47s with those massive radial engines and 850 caliber machine guns. They came in low, maybe 20 of them. Circled our perimeter once, waggled their wings at us. We cheered, waved, shouted. Then they went to work. They dove on the German positions. The roar of their engines, the rattle of their 50 cals, 8 guns per plane, 20 planes, that's 160 machine guns firing. The sound was incredible. We watched them tear into the German lines, hitting tanks, hitting troops, hitting gun positions. Explosions everywhere. German vehicles burning. Trees splintering. How do you like that? Frank was yelling at the Germans. How do you like American air power? The P-47s made multiple passes, strafing, bombing, devastating the German positions. We cheered every pass, every explosion. Revenge for every artillery barrage we'd endured. For every frozen night. For Eddie and everyone else who'd been hit. The Germans fought back. Anti-aircraft fire. 88s shooting at the planes. Black puffs of flak filling the sky. One Thunderbolt got hit. Smoking. Losing altitude. Come on, I whispered. Come on, stay in the air. The pilot was trying, fighting for control, the plane wobbling, trailing black smoke. It went down somewhere to the west, behind our lines, hopefully. Maybe the pilot survived, maybe he bailed out. I hoped so. He was brave. They were all brave, flying into flak to help us. Heroes. The rest of the P-47s finished their runs and headed back west, back to their base, back to safety. We cheered them, thanked them, even though they couldn't hear us. By late afternoon, the German positions were smoking ruins, at least the visible ones. How much damage we actually did, who knows? But it felt good. Felt like we weren't helpless. Weren't just taking punishment. We could hit back. The day ended on a high note. Full stomachs, ammunition resupplied, medical supplies available, air support proven. Morale is the best it's been since we got here. Henderson came by at sunset. Good day, boys. Real good day. But don't get cocky. Germans are going to be pissed. They'll hit back, probably soon. Be ready. We will be, Sergeant. He looked at us. You did good today, running out to get those supplies. That took guts. I'm proud of you. Thank you, Sergeant. After he left, Jimmy looked at me. We might actually make it, Tommy. We might actually survive this. Yeah, I agreed. We might. Tonight the cold doesn't seem as bad. My stomach's full. I've got ammunition. We've got hope. That changes everything. Nuts. We told the Germans, nuts, and we meant it. We're holding Bastogne, and we're going to keep holding it. No matter what. December 22nd, 1944, night. The high from the supply drop is fading. Reality's creeping back in. It's 2200 hours. 10 p.m. Jimmy and I are on watch. 2 hours. Then we can try to sleep. Try to survive another frozen night. The temperature's dropping again. Always dropping. Ways. The cold is relentless. But something's different tonight. Something I can't quite put my finger on. The Germans are quiet. Too quiet. No artillery. No probes. No movement we can see. Just silence. It's unnerving. What do you think they're doing? Jimmy asked. Licking their wounds from the airstrikes maybe. Regrouping. Planning. Or loading up for a major attack. Yeah, that too. We sit in silence. Watching. Waiting. The stars are out. Clear sky. Beautiful and deadly. Clear means cold. Means we can see, but so can they. I'm thinking about the supply drop, about how close some of those bundles came to German lines, about how the Germans probably recovered some too. War's weird that way. Both sides desperate for supplies, both sides scrambling for the same packages. In another context, it would be funny. But nothing's funny here. Jimmy's been quiet for the last hour, just watching, thinking. Finally he says, Tommy, can I tell you something? Of course. I'm not sure I can do this much longer. Do what? This. All of it. The cold, the fear, the killing. I feel like I'm coming apart. Like pieces of me are falling away and I can't stop it. I understood exactly what he meant. I felt it too. Talk to me, I said. What's the worst part? He thought about it. The randomness. Eddie gets hit on day one. Others make it through major firefights without a scratch. That replacement yesterday, Johnson, killed by a random artillery shell that could have hit anywhere. There's no fairness, no justice, just random death. I know. And I keep thinking, when is it my turn? Is it today? Tomorrow? Will I even see it coming? Maybe you won't. Maybe that's better. Is it? Not knowing? Just 1 second you exist and the next you don't? We sat with that thought. My father, Jimmy said quietly, before they took us to Manzanar, he told me something. He said, Mom, life is like cherry blossoms. Beautiful but brief. You can't hold on to it. You can only appreciate each moment while it's there. That's beautiful. It's Japanese. Mono no aware. The pathos of things. Understanding that beauty and sadness are connected, that everything passes. Do you believe that? I'm trying to appreciate each moment, each sunrise, each breath, each conversation with you, because it might be the last. His voice cracked on that last word. I put my hand on his shoulder. We're going to make it, Jimmy. Both of us. We're going to survive this and go home and live long, boring lives. Promise? Promise. It's a promise I have no right to make, no power to keep. But I made it anyway, because that's what you do. You give hope even when you don't have it yourself. The night stretches on. Cold, dark, endless. Around midnight we hear something. Engines. Lots of engines. From the German lines. Movement. Vehicles. You hear that? Jimmy whispered. Yeah, report it. Jimmy called it in to Henderson. Movement in the German lines. Vehicle engines. Heavy. Multiple. Copy that. Stay alert. Watch for attacks. We watched. Strained our eyes and ears. But we couldn't see anything. Just heard the engines. Coming and going. Bringing something up. Or taking something away. Reinforcements? Jimmy suggested. Maybe. Or supplies. Or their moving positions. Should we call in artillery? On what? We can't see them. Can't give coordinates. So we just listened. Helpless. Knowing something was happening but unable to stop it. The engines continued for maybe an hour, then stopped. Silence again. What were they doing? We'd find out eventually, probably the hard way. Our watch ended at midnight. 2 new guys took over. Replacements whose names I'm trying to learn but keep forgetting. Jimmy and I curled up at the bottom of the foxhole, trying to sleep, trying to stay warm. Tommy? Jimmy's voice in the darkness. Yeah? Thanks for listening, for being here. Always, brother, always. Brother, yeah. That's what he is now, what Frank is, what all of them are. Brothers forged in frozen hell, family chosen by circumstance. I'll protect them, die for them if I have to. That's not dramatic. That's just truth. Sleep won't come. Too cold, too wired, too aware that tomorrow might bring whatever the Germans were preparing tonight. So I lie here, eyes open, listening to Jimmy breathe, listening to the night, waiting for dawn, waiting for war, always waiting. December 23rd, 1944, morning. Morning came with a gift and a curse. The gift. The sky cleared completely, brilliant blue, sunshine, actual warmth from the sun. Not much, but after days of gray, it felt like a blessing. The curse. That same clear sky brought more Germans. Around 0800, we heard them again. Aircraft engines, but different this time. Not the friendly drone of C-47s, heavier, deeper, unfriendly. German bombers. Take cover! Henderson's voice across the positions. We pressed ourselves into the foxhole, hands over helmets, hearts pounding. The bombs fell somewhere to the north, in Bastogne proper, the explosions rolling across the landscape, the ground shaking. They were hitting the town, the civilians, the aid stations. Bastards. The bombing lasted maybe 15 minutes. Then the planes left, back to Germany, back to safety. We emerged from cover, looked toward town, smoke rising, black and ugly. How many civilians just died? How many wounded soldiers in the aid stations? No way to know, not yet. But around 0900 the good news came. The sky stayed clear, and that meant our planes could fly too. Right on schedule, the C-47s appeared again. More supply drops, more parachutes filling the sky. Not as many as yesterday, maybe half as many, but still critical, still needed. We ran recovery missions again, grabbed what we could, brought it back. This time I got ammunition, clips for my Garand, grenades, beautiful deadly grenades. Jimmy got medical supplies, Frank got rations. By mid-morning, we were stocked again. Not overflowing, but enough to keep fighting. And then the P-47s came back, more of them this time, maybe 30 planes. They circled once, then dove. The German positions erupted in fire and smoke. We cheered. Every pass, every explosion. Get them. Get the bastards who bombed the town, who killed civilians. The airstrikes went on for maybe half an hour, relentless, punishing. When the planes finally left, the German lines were burning. But they'd be back. They always came back. Around noon, Henderson gathered the squad. Listen up. Intelligence reports the Germans are preparing a major push. Multiple sectors. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Christmas likely. They want to break us before relief arrives. When's relief coming, Sarge? Someone asked. Third Army's fighting hard. Patton's pushing north. But they're meeting heavy resistance. Days away still. Maybe 3, maybe 4. We have to hold until then. 4 more days. Could we last 4 more days? Check your weapons, Henderson ordered. Check your ammo. Make sure your positions are solid. Get rest when you can, and pray. Pray hard. We spent the afternoon fortifying, making our foxhole deeper, building up the sides, improving our overhead cover. The ground was still frozen, but we managed, chipped away, piled dirt, made it stronger. Around 1500 hours I took a break, sat on the edge of the foxhole, looking out at the landscape. The Belgian countryside was actually pretty, rolling hills, patches of forest, the snow covering everything in white. It would be peaceful if not for the war. I thought about that family, the old couple and their granddaughter, hiding in that barn behind us. Were they okay? Had the bombing hit them? I should check, make sure. Jimmy, I'm going to check on those civilians. In the barn. Make sure they're okay. Want company? No, stay here. Keep watch. I'll be quick. I grabbed my rifle and headed back. Low run, using what cover I could. The barn was still standing. That was good. I approached carefully. Hello? Anyone here? A voice from inside. The old man. Yes, we are here. I went in. They were huddled in the corner. All 3 of them. Cold, scared, but alive. You okay? The bombing? We are safe. Thank you for asking. The granddaughter was looking at me, those huge eyes. She said something in French. The old man translated. She asked if we will be safe, if the Germans will come. What do I tell them? The truth? That we're surrounded? That we might not hold? We're going to protect you, I said. The American army is here. We won't let them hurt you. The old man translated. The girl nodded. Didn't look convinced, but accepted it. The old woman said something, reached into a bag, pulled out bread, real bread, still fresh somehow. She offered it to me. No, I can't. You need it. She insisted, pushed it into my hands, said something in French. The old man translated. She says thank you, for fighting, for being here. Please, take it. I took the bread, felt my throat tighten. Thank you, merci. The bread was still warm. Somehow, in this frozen hell, she'd baked bread. I wanted to stay, to protect them, to make sure they survived, but I had to get back to my position. Stay here, I told them. Stay quiet, stay safe. I ran back to the foxhole. Jimmy was where I'd left him, on watch. They okay? Yeah, scared but okay. I showed him the bread. His eyes went wide. We split it, half each, ate slowly, savoring every bite. It was the best bread I'd ever tasted, fresh, warm, made with care by an old woman in the middle of a war zone. It was more than food. It was hope. It was humanity. It was everything we were fighting for. This is it, I said to Jimmy. This is why. The bread? The people. That old woman baked bread while bombs were falling. That's courage. That's what we're protecting. People who keep living, keep caring, keep being human even when the world's gone mad. Jimmy nodded. Yeah, that's worth fighting for. We finished the bread, every crumb, then back to watch, back to waiting, back to war. But for a few minutes we'd been reminded of what normal is, what we're trying to get back to. That helped a lot. December 23rd, 1944, late afternoon. The day's winding down, the sun's getting lower, the temperature's already dropping in anticipation of another brutal night. But something's different about today. The supply drops, the air support, the bread from that Belgian woman, small victories, small moments of humanity, they add up, they matter. I'm sitting in the foxhole cleaning my rifle. Again, it's become almost meditative. The repetition, the focus, strip it down, clean each part, oil it, reassemble, check the action. My hands know the movement so well I could do it blindfolded, probably have done it half asleep. Jimmy's writing a letter to his parents in Manzanar. I watch him for a moment, his hand moving across the paper, careful, deliberate. What do you say to parents imprisoned by their own country while you fight for that country? What are you telling them, I ask. He looks up. That I'm okay, that I'm safe, that they shouldn't worry. All lies, all necessary lies. What else can I tell them? That I'm freezing, that I might die, that their son is trapped behind enemy lines? He shakes his head. They've suffered enough. He goes back to writing. I go back to cleaning. Frank appears at our foxhole. You boys hear the news? What news? Germans hit Champs hard this morning, real hard. Tanks and infantry, they almost broke through. Champs, that's west of us. Maybe 3 miles. Part of the perimeter. Did we hold? Yeah, barely. Lost a lot of men though. Artillery guys fought like demons, kept the tanks back, but it cost. How many? Frank shrugs. Don't know exact numbers. Too many. He sits on the edge of our foxhole, lights a cigarette, offers us each one. We take them, light up. 3 guys, sharing smoke and silence. Sergeant Henderson thinks tonight's going to be bad, Frank says after a bit. Why tonight? It's Christmas Eve. Germans might think we're distracted, sentimental, might try to hit us when our guard's down. Our guard's not down. I know, but they might not know that. We smoke, watch the sun get lower. You scared? Jimmy asks suddenly. Yeah, Frank admits. Terrified. Every day. Every hour, I wake up scared, go to sleep scared. The fear never stops. How do you deal with it? I don't. I just keep moving, keep functioning, keep doing my job. The fear is always there, but I don't let it stop me. Can't let it stop me. You understand? We understood. Fear is constant. It's the background radiation of war. You learn to function despite it. Or you break. No other options. Frank finishes his cigarette, crushes it out. Get some rest, both of you. Tonight might be long. He heads back to his position. Jimmy and I sit in silence. The sun's almost down now, the sky turning that deep blue color, stars starting to appear. Tommy? Yeah? If something happens tonight, if I don't make it, don't talk like that. Listen, if I don't make it, make sure my letter gets to my parents. It's in my pack. Top pocket, okay? Jimmy, promise me. I look at him, really look at him. His face is thin, gaunt. The cold and hunger and stress have stripped away everything soft, just bones and determination left. I promise. But you're going to deliver it yourself. He smiles, sad smile. Yeah, probably. But he doesn't sound convinced. Neither am I. December 23rd, 1944 evening. Darkness fell, full dark. The stars brilliant and cold. We're on watch. Both of us. Can't sleep anyway. Too wired, too aware that something's coming. The Germans are quiet. Too quiet. No movement we can see or hear, but you can feel them out there. Watching, waiting, planning. Around 2000 hours. 8 p.m. we heard it. Music. Again, like last night. But different. Louder. Multiple sources. Phonographs. Instruments. Voices. The Germans were celebrating. Christmas Eve. Their biggest holiday. The sound drifted across no man's land. Carols. Songs. Laughter even. Stille Nacht again. Silent night. But also others. O Tannenbaum. Es ist ein Ross entsprungen. Songs I didn't recognize but could feel the meaning. Joy, peace, hope, Christmas, all the things war destroys. Should we shoot? One of the replacements asked. Young kid, eager, stupid. No, Henderson's voice. Sharp. Let them have their music. It's Christmas Eve. Even Germans deserve that. So we listened. And then, like last night, someone on our side started singing. Silent night, holy night. All is calm. All is bright. More voices joined. Our whole line, singing in English. The Germans sang in German. We sang in English. Same song, same message. For maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15, the war stopped. Just music. Just human beings celebrating something bigger than conflict. When it ended, there was this strange moment. This pause. Like both sides were considering the absurdity. Then someone on the German side shouted, Frohe Weihnachten. Someone on our side shouted back, Merry Christmas. And then it was quiet again. Back to war. Back to reality. Jimmy was crying again. Silent tears freezing on his cheeks. I can't do this anymore, he whispered. I can't kill people who sing the same songs, who celebrate the same holiday, who are just like us. I know, but we don't have a choice. There's always a choice. Not in war. In war you do your duty or you die. Those are the only choices. He looked at me. Is that enough? Is duty enough? I thought about Klaus, about his letters, about that teenage German prisoner crying. No, I admitted. It's not enough, but it's all we have. We sat in silence, the stars above, the cold around us, the enemy across from us, all of us trapped in this frozen moment, this frozen hell. Around 2200 hours, 10 p.m., Henderson came by. You boys okay? Yeah, Sarge. He looked at us, really looked. Saw the tears on Jimmy's face, the 1,000-yard stare I was probably wearing. This is the hardest part, he said quietly. The waiting, the thinking, the realizing that the enemy's human too. But you can't let it break you, you understand? Tomorrow they'll try to kill you, and you'll have to kill them. That's war. That's reality. You grieve later. Right now, you survive. Yes, Sergeant. He put his hand on my shoulder, then on Jimmy's. You're good soldiers, good men. Your families would be proud. I'm proud. Then he moved on to the next position. I looked at Jimmy. You hear that? Henderson's proud of us. Yeah, I heard. That means something. Does it? Does being a good soldier matter if what we're doing is wrong? It's not wrong. We're stopping the Nazis, saving people. That's right. By destroying their towns, killing their sons? I didn't have an answer. The philosophical questions of war, the moral paradoxes, They don't have easy answers. Maybe they don't have any answers. Maybe we just do what we have to do and hope history judges us kindly. The night wore on, cold, dark, endless. Around midnight we heard something. Engines again. From the German lines, movement, vehicles, lots of them. They're coming, Jimmy whispered. Tomorrow. They're getting ready. Yeah, probably. We reported it to Henderson. He acknowledged, told us to stay alert. Like we could be anything but alert. I'm writing this by tiny candlelight, shielding it. Last entry for tonight. Tomorrow's Christmas. December 24th. The day of peace and goodwill. We'll probably spend it fighting for our lives. The irony isn't lost on me. But that's war. War doesn't care about holidays. Doesn't respect anything. It just grinds on. Consuming everything. Destroying everything. All we can do is try to survive it. Try to keep our humanity despite it. Try to remember why we're fighting. For families like that Belgian couple. For old women who bake bread. For the idea that people should be free. For Helen waiting at home. For Mom and Dad. For Margaret and Catherine. For the future we're trying to build. That has to be enough. It has to be. Merry Christmas, everyone back home. Merry Christmas to the Germans singing carols across no man's land. Merry Christmas to all of us trapped in this frozen hell. May we live to see another one. December 24th, 1944, Christmas Eve morning. Christmas Eve. I'm 22 years old, and I'm spending Christmas Eve in a frozen foxhole in Belgium, surrounded by Germans who want to kill me. Not how I imagined it. The morning started quiet, eerily quiet. No artillery, no probes, nothing. Just cold and waiting. Around 0800 we got a surprise. Hot food. Actual hot food. The cooks managed to get field kitchens up and running. They brought forward hot coffee, hot oatmeal, even some bacon. The smell of bacon cooking. God! I'd forgotten what that smelled like. We lined up. Got our portions. Carried them back to our foxholes. The coffee was hot, real hot. Burned my tongue, but I didn't care. The heat going down, warming from the inside. For the first time in days, I felt almost human. The oatmeal was plain, no sugar, no milk, but it was hot and filling. The bacon, 3 strips each, was divine, crispy, salty, perfect. Jimmy and I ate slowly, savoring every bite, making it last. Best Christmas breakfast ever, Jimmy said. Amen. After eating, we felt better, stronger, ready. Henderson came by around 0900. Merry Christmas, boys. Merry Christmas, Sarge. He reached into his pack, pulled out chocolate bars. Good ones. Hershey's. His personal stash. Been saving these for a special occasion. He handed us each one. I figure Christmas in a foxhole in Belgium qualifies. Sergeant, we can't take your chocolate. You can and you will. That's an order. He grinned. Besides, I've got 3 kids at home. I'm used to sharing. He mentioned his kids. Billy, Sarah, little Tommy. He talked about them sometimes, but not often. Too painful, maybe. Too far away. Thank you, Sergeant. You're welcome. Now I want you to know something. His tone got serious. You boys are the best damn squad I've ever had. Smart, brave, dependable. Your families should be proud. I know I am. My throat got tight. We're going to get through this, he continued. All of us. We're going to hold until relief comes. Then we're going home. To our families, to our lives. You believe that? Yes, Sergeant. Good. Because I need you to believe it. Need you to have hope. Without hope, we're already dead. He moved on to the next position, distributing chocolate, giving encouragement, being the leader we needed. Jimmy and I ate our chocolate slowly, tiny bites, making it last. He's a good man, Jimmy said. The best. You think we'll all make it? Like he said? I wanted to say yes, wanted to believe it, but I couldn't lie, not to Jimmy. I don't know, but we'll try. That's all we can do. The morning wore on, still quiet, still waiting. Around 1100 we got mail call. Somehow, miraculously, mail had gotten through before the siege. Letters from home. I got 3. One from Mom, one from Dad, one from Helen. I held them for a long time before opening them. Just held them. physical connection to home, to another world, to everything I was fighting for. Finally, I opened Mom's first. Her handwriting, familiar, beautiful. She wrote about home, about Margaret doing well in school, about Catherine's Christmas pageant at church, about Dad working long hours at the mine, about how much they missed me, how they prayed for me every day. She ended with, "Come home safe, Tommy. Come home to us. We love you so much." I had to stop reading, had to wipe my eyes. Dad's letter was shorter, more practical, but warm. He wrote about the war news, about how proud he was, about how the neighborhood was supporting the troops, about how I was doing the right thing. "Be brave, son. Do your duty. We're all counting on you." Helen's letter was last. I almost couldn't open it, too afraid, too vulnerable. But I did. Her words, her voice on paper. She wrote about Scranton, about walking past our old high school, about how empty everything felt without me, about how she wore the ring I'd given her, a promise ring, every day, about how she counted down to when I'd come home. "I love you, Tommy. I'm waiting for you. No matter how long it takes, come back to me. Please come back." I folded the letter carefully, put it in my pocket, over my heart. I would come back. I had to. She was waiting. Jimmy got letters too, from his parents, from Manzanar. He read them silently, tears running down his face. "They're okay," he said finally. "Still imprisoned, still treated like enemies, but they're okay. That's good. They tell me to be brave, to serve honorably, to make them proud." He laughed bitterly. "They're in prison, and they're telling me to make them proud." "You do make them proud. You make all of us proud." He folded his letters, tucked them away. "Thanks, Tommy." Frank got letters too. He read them privately, didn't share. But I saw his face afterward, saw the pain, the longing. We were all the same, all homesick, all missing people who seemed impossibly far away. The afternoon passed slowly. We improved our positions, checked weapons, waited. Around 1500 hours, 3 p.m., Henderson gathered us. Intelligence reports German movement all around the perimeter, heavy concentrations near Chams, near Foy, other sectors. They're preparing something big. When, Sarge? Could be today, could be tonight, could be tomorrow. Be ready. We were ready. As ready as we could be. The sun started setting. Early. It's winter. By 1630 it was getting dark. Christmas Eve night was coming, and with it, probably, the Germans. December 24th, 1944, Christmas Eve night. Night fell. The temperature dropped. The stars came out. Christmas Eve. Back home. In Scranton. In Boston. In San Francisco. In Detroit. In Waterloo. Families were gathering. Eating dinner. Opening presents. Going to church. Celebrating. Here we sat in frozen foxholes. Rifles ready. Waiting for death. Around 1900 hours, 7 p.m., we heard the Germans again. Music, carols, celebrating their holy night. Stille Nacht drifted across the battlefield. Beautiful, haunting. This time, I couldn't enjoy it. Couldn't appreciate the shared humanity. Because I knew deep in my gut, they were coming. The music was a farewell, a final prayer before battle. Around 2000 hours, the music stopped. Silence. Terrible silence. "Here they come," Henderson's voice. Calm, steady. "Everyone ready, fire on my command." We waited. I could hear my heartbeat, loud in my ears, racing. My hands were sweating despite the cold. Gripping my rifle, finger near the trigger. Jimmy was next to me, pressed against the foxhole side, his breathing fast, scared. We were all scared. Minutes passed. 5, 10, 15. Nothing. Just silence and darkness and fear. Then flares, German flares going up, bright white light floating down on parachutes, illuminating everything, and we saw them, infantry, hundreds of them, maybe thousands, coming from the trees, moving in waves, gray-green uniforms, rifles, moving fast. Fire! The whole line erupted. I squeezed the trigger. The Garand kicked, spent shell ejected. I worked the bolt, fired again. The noise was incredible. Dozens of rifles, machine guns, the BARs, all firing at once, tracers arcing out, red streaks cutting through the darkness, German traces coming back. White streaks, bullets cracking past overhead, slamming into the frozen earth, into trees, into flesh. Someone was screaming. Couldn't tell if it was ours or theirs. I kept firing. Mechanically. Target. Aim. Squeeze. Next target. A German went down. Then another. Then 3 more. But more kept coming. They were everywhere. Grenade! Someone yelled. I ducked. Explosion nearby. Dirt and shrapnel raining down. My ears were ringing. Everything muffled. Distant. I popped back up. Fired. Empty clip. Pinged out. I reloaded. Fast. Practiced. Fired again. The Germans were getting closer. 30 meters. 20. Too close. Frank's BAR opened up. That beautiful sustained fire, ripping into the German line, cutting them down. They faltered, fell back, regrouped. Watch for tanks. Henderson's voice. Tanks. Where? There. Coming from the right. Panthers. 2 of them. Turrets swiveling, looking for targets. 1 fired. The shell screamed overhead, impacted somewhere behind us. Explosion. Bazooka! Henderson was yelling. Someone with a bazooka, a replacement I didn't know, stood up, aimed, fired. The rocket streaked out, hit the lead Panther, bounced off. The armor was too thick. The angle was wrong. The Panther's turret swung toward the bazooka position. Get down! I screamed. The tank fired. The position disappeared in fire and smoke. The bazooka man was gone. Just gone. The tanks kept coming. Fall back, Henderson ordered. Controlled retreat to secondary positions. We grabbed our gear, climbed out of the foxhole, started moving back. German fire followed us. Bullets kicking up snow. Trees splintering. I ran, Jimmy next to me, Frank behind. Made it maybe 50 meters. Dove into a shell crater. The tanks were overrunning our primary positions, just rolling over them, crushing the foxholes. But our artillery opened up. The 75s, firing over open sights, direct fire at the tanks. 1 shell hit a Panther. Penetrated. The tank brewed up, fire and smoke billowing out. The crew tried to bail. We shot them as they emerged. Terrible. Necessary. The second tank pulled back. Too dangerous. Our artillery had the range. The German infantry tried to follow up, tried to exploit the breakthrough. But we were ready. Secondary positions, overlapping fields of fire. We cut them down. The firefight went on for maybe an hour, maybe 2. Time lost meaning, just shooting, reloading, shooting, trying to survive. Finally they pulled back. The Germans, retreating to their lines. The firing died down, stopped. Silence. Except for the ringing in my ears. Except for the moaning of wounded. Sound off! Henderson's voice. One by one we answered, but not everyone answered. Dombrowski, Frank Dombrowski, sound off. Silence. No. No, no, no. Frank, I was yelling. Frank! Over here! Jimmy's voice. I found him. I ran to where Jimmy was, found Frank lying in the snow. He was hit. Bad, shrapnel from the tank shell. Multiple wounds, chest, legs, arm, but he was alive, conscious. Hey, Tommy, he said, his voice wet, bubbling. That was fun. Don't talk. Save your strength. Medic. Doc Sutton was already coming, moving fast, medical bag ready. He knelt next to Frank, started working, cutting away uniform, packing wounds, applying pressure. How bad? Frank asked. Doc didn't answer, just kept working. That was answer enough. Frank, I grabbed his hand. You're going to be okay. Doc's the best. He'll fix you up. Frank squeezed my hand, weak. Tell my mom. Tell her I tried. You tell her yourself. He smiled, blood on his teeth. Yeah, probably not. Frank, it's okay, Tommy. I'm okay. Just cold. So cold. Doc was still working, but I could see it in his face, the resignation, the knowledge, too many wounds, too much blood loss, nothing he could do. Frank's breathing changed, ragged, gasping. Tommy? I'm here, brother. I'm right here. Take care of Jimmy. He needs you. I will. And tell them back home. Tell them we held. Tell them we didn't quit. I will. I promise. His hand squeezed mine one more time, then relaxed. His eyes stayed open, but he wasn't looking anymore. Frank Dombrowski from Detroit. 24 years old. Auto worker. BAR. Man, my friend, gone. I sat there holding his hand. Couldn't move. Couldn't process. Doc put his hand on my shoulder. I'm sorry, Tommy. He's gone. I knew. But hearing it made it real. Jimmy was there, crying, actually sobbing. We'd lost Frank. The firefight continued elsewhere, the Germans hitting other sectors, but in our area it was quiet, just us and the dead. We carried Frank's body back, laid him with the others, covered him with a poncho. His BAR was still where he'd dropped it. I picked it up, held it. Frank had carried this weapon through Normandy, through Holland, through Bastogne. Now he was gone and the weapon remained. I wanted to scream, to rage, to break something, but there was no time. The fight was still going on. Other sectors still engaged. We had to get back to our positions, had to be ready if they came again. So I set down the BAR, left Frank under his poncho, went back to war. Jimmy and I made it back to a foxhole. Not ours. That was gone, crushed by tanks. But another position, vacant now. The previous occupants probably dead. We settled in, checked ammo, waited. It's 0300 now. 3 a.m., Christmas morning technically. The Germans haven't come back. Not yet. But they will. They always do. I'm writing this because I need to record it. Need to make Frank's death mean something. Need to remember that he died brave. That he fought until the end. That he was a good man, the best. Jimmy's next to me, silent, in shock maybe. We've lost Eddie, we've lost Frank. Just the two of us left from the original squad. How long before one of us is gone too? I'm so tired, not physically, though I am that too. Tired in my soul, tired of death, of loss, of this frozen hell. But I can't quit. Made promises. To Frank, to Henderson, to everyone. Have to keep fighting. Have to hold. For them. For all of them. Merry Christmas. God help us all. December 25th, 1944. Christmas Day morning. Christmas Day. The day of peace and goodwill toward men. We spent it fighting for our lives. The Germans came at dawn, right as the sun was rising. Probably figured we'd be tired from the night fighting, weakened, vulnerable. They were right, but we fought anyway. They hit multiple sectors simultaneously. Coordinated assault, professional, determined. Our sector got hit around 0700. Infantry supported by armor, Panthers again. Some Tigers this time too. Those huge bastards with the 88mm guns. The artillery barrage came first, softening us up, shells screaming in, impacting all around. Jimmy and I pressed ourselves into the foxhole, hands over helmets, praying. The world exploded, again and again, the ground heaving, trees shattering. The noise beyond description. I counted 40 shells, maybe more, lost count. When it stopped, my ears were ringing so bad I couldn't hear, everything muffled, distant. I looked at Jimmy. His face was white, blood running from his nose, concussion from the blasts, probably. You okay? He nodded, couldn't speak, shock maybe. Then the infantry came, gray-green figures emerging from the smoke, rifles, machine guns, Panzerfausts, those single-shot anti-tank weapons. Fire, I fired, empty clip after empty clip, reloading, firing, reloading. The Germans kept coming. They reached our line, hand to hand in places, brutal, desperate. I saw one of our guys, a replacement, grappling with a German, both trying to kill the other with bare hands. The German won, stabbed the kid with a bayonet. I shot the German. He went down. Too late for the kid. The fighting was insane. Chaos. No organization, just survival. Somewhere to our right, a Tiger tank was advancing, its main gun firing, shells obliterating positions. Our artillery tried to hit it. Near misses. but the armor was too thick. The tiger kept coming. Then Henderson appeared, running, carrying a bazooka. Someone's bazooka. The original operator was dead. He moved to a position with a good angle, knelt, aimed. The tiger's turret was swinging toward him. "Henderson!" I screamed. "Get down!" He fired. The rocket streaked out, hit the tiger's side armor, penetrated. The tank stopped, smoke pouring out. But the turret had finished swiveling. The tiger fired. The shell hit right where Henderson was. Direct hit. The explosion was enormous. When the smoke cleared, Henderson was gone. Not wounded, not injured, gone. Vaporized. Nothing left but a crater and some torn equipment. Sergeant Bill Henderson, Waterloo, Iowa. 3 kids. The best soldier I'd ever known. Dead. I couldn't process it. Couldn't accept it. But there was no time to grieve. The Germans were still coming. The battle raged on for another hour, maybe 2. Finally, our artillery found the range, started dropping shells right on the German positions. Devastating fire. Accurate, deadly. The Germans faltered, pulled back, retreated. We'd held. Again. But the cost. Oh God, the cost. When the firing stopped, I looked around. Our sector was destroyed. Foxholes obliterated. Trees shattered. Bodies everywhere. Ours and theirs. Mixed together. American and German, all dead. All equal in death. Jimmy was sitting in the foxhole, staring at nothing, in shock. Jimmy, you okay?" He looked at me. His eyes were empty. "Henderson's dead." "I know. He's just gone, like he never existed." "I know." "What do we do now?" I didn't know. Henderson was our anchor, our leader, our father figure. Without him, but we couldn't fall apart, couldn't give up. "We keep fighting," I said. "That's what Henderson would want. We keep fighting." Jimmy nodded slowly. "Yeah, okay." Around noon we got pulled back, rotated to a reserve position. Give us a break. Let us recover. We moved like zombies, exhausted, shell-shocked, traumatized. They fed us. Hot soup, bread, coffee. I ate mechanically. Didn't taste anything. Jimmy barely ate, just stared at his food. I tried to talk to him. "Jimmy, you need to eat. Keep your strength up." "What's the point?" "The point is surviving. That's always the point. Frank's dead. Henderson's dead. Eddie's maimed. We're all going to die here, Tommy. All of us." "No, we're going to make it. Both of us. Remember our promise?" "Promises don't matter. Death doesn't care about promises." He was spiraling, breaking. I grabbed his shoulders, made him look at me. "Listen to me. Frank died fighting. Henderson died fighting. They died protecting us, protecting everyone. If we give up now, if we quit, their deaths mean nothing, you understand? We owe it to them to survive, to keep fighting, to make it home and tell their stories." Tears were running down his face. "I can't, Tommy. I'm so scared. I'm so tired. I just want it to end." "I know. Me too. But we can't quit. Not now. Not after everything." He nodded slowly. Okay, I'll try. That's all I'm asking. Just try." We sat together. 2 survivors, 2 friends, holding on to each other because there was nothing else to hold on to. The afternoon brought news. The fighting at Champs was brutal. The Germans threw everything at it. Tanks, infantry, artillery. Our guys held. Barely. The artillery was the key. Those 75mm pack howitzers, firing over open sights, hitting tanks at point-blank range. But casualties were heavy, real heavy. Bastogne's perimeter was shrinking, not broken, but compressed, tighter. How long could we keep this up? Third Army was still pushing north, fighting hard, getting closer, but not close enough, not yet. We needed to hold, just a little longer. Could we? I didn't know. Around 1600 hours we got moved back to the line, not our original position, that was gone. A new sector, new foxhole. We dug in, prepared, waited for the next attack. It's evening now. The sun's setting. Christmas Day ending. What a Christmas. Frank dead. Henderson dead. Countless others dead. For what? For a town in Belgium? For roads? For strategy? Is it worth it? I don't know anymore. I just know we're still here, still fighting, still surviving. That has to be enough. Jimmy's next to me, silent, distant. I'm worried about him, really worried. He's barely holding on, but I can't help him, can't fix him. All I can do is be here, be present, be a friend. That's all any of us can do. The stars are coming out, Christmas stars. Silent night, holy night. Nothing's silent, nothing's holy. Just war, just death, just frozen hell. Merry Christmas, everyone. December 26th, 1944, morning. Rumors started spreading at dawn. Patton's coming. Third Army broke through. Relief is close. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. But close. The news spread like wildfire. Guys smiling. Actually smiling. First time in days. Hope. Real hope. We just had to hold a little longer. Around 0900 the artillery picked up. Both sides. Germans hitting us hitting them. The shells screamed overhead. Impacted. Exploded. We stayed low. Waited. Then around 1000 we heard it. Engines. Tank engines. American tank engines. From the south. Coming from the direction of Third Army. Shermans! Someone yelled. We scrambled out of foxholes. Looking south. Straining to see. There. Coming up the road. M4 Sherman tanks. American tanks. With the white star on the side. Relief. They were here. Guys were cheering, crying, hugging each other. The siege was over. We'd held. For 8 days we'd held. Surrounded, outnumbered, freezing, starving. We'd held. The Shermans rolled into the perimeter. 4th Armored Division. Patton's spearhead. The tankers were grinning, waving, throwing us supplies, food, cigarettes, ammunition. We swarmed them, shaking hands, thanking them, laughing. Tough fight? One tanker asked. You could say that, I replied. Well, you boys held. That's what matters. You held. Yeah, we held. The tankers shared their rations. Hot coffee from thermoses, chocolate, cigarettes, everything they had. It felt like Christmas, like New Year's, like every celebration combined. We were going to make it. We'd survived. Jimmy was smiling. Actually smiling. We did it, Tommy. We held. Yeah, we did. Frank and Henderson, they'd be proud. Yeah, they would. We stood there watching the tanks roll in, watching more troops arrive, feeling the siege lift like a physical weight. For the first time in days, I felt warm. Not physically warm, it was still freezing, but warm inside. Hope, relief, joy. We'd survived. Around noon, the fighting picked up again. The Germans weren't done. They were pulling back, but fighting every step, making us pay. But we had support now. Armor, artillery, resupply. Everything changed. Around 1400, 2 p.m., I was standing outside our foxhole, talking to one of the tankers, sharing a cigarette. Jimmy was next to me, relaxed for the first time in days. So where are you from? The tanker asked. Scranton, Pennsylvania, I said. No kidding, I got a cousin in Scranton. Name's the crack of a rifle. Single shot. Jimmy made this sound, this surprised oh sound. He fell. I caught him, lowered him down. Blood, so much blood. The bullet hit him in the chest, high up, near the heart. Jimmy, medic, medic. His eyes found mine, confused, scared. Tommy? I'm here, I've got you. You're going to be okay. He grabbed my hand, weak grip, getting weaker. Tell my parents, tell them I wasn't scared. Tell them I was brave. You tell them yourself. You're going to make it. He smiled, sad smile. No, I don't think so. Jimmy, don't. Don't do this. We made it. Relief is here. We survived. You survived, Tommy. Tell Mary. Tell her I should have asked her out. He coughed, blood on his lips. Tell her I thought about her. Every day. Jimmy. His grip tightened. One last squeeze. Thank you. For being my friend. Always, brother. Always. His eyes stayed on mine. Focused, then not focused, then empty. Just like that. 1 second a person, the next second gone. Jimmy Chen from San Francisco. 22 years old. Nisei. American, despite everything, my friend, dead. Minutes after relief arrived. Minutes after we thought we'd survived. One bullet, one sniper, one random moment of violence, and he was gone. I sat there holding him, couldn't move, couldn't process. We'd made it. The siege was over. Relief was here. But Jimmy was dead. The cruelty of it, the timing, the randomness, after everything, after all we'd survived. He died when it was almost over. Doc Sutton came, checked Jimmy's pulse, his breathing, looked at me with those tired, sad eyes. I'm sorry, Tommy. He's gone. I knew. But hearing it still hurt. They took Jimmy's body, laid him with the others, with Frank, with Henderson, with all the dead. So many dead. The tanker who'd been talking to us, the one sharing a cigarette, he was pale, shaken. Jesus, I'm sorry. If I hadn't been talking to you, if you'd been somewhere else, it's not your fault, I said, voice flat, empty. It's just war, just random death. But it felt like fault. Felt like if we'd been anywhere else, doing anything else, Jimmy would still be alive. The sniper got killed. Our guy spotted the muzzle flash, called in fire. Problem solved. Too late for Jimmy. The rest of the day passed in a blur. The Germans continued pulling back. The perimeter expanded. More relief troops arrived. Victory, success. We'd held Bastogne, but I couldn't feel it, couldn't celebrate. Jimmy was dead. Frank was dead. Henderson was dead. Eddie was maimed. So many others gone. What did we win? A town, some roads, strategic advantage. Was it worth it? I don't know. I honestly don't know. December 27th, 1944, morning. I'm still here, still alive. Jimmy's not. That's the only truth I have right now. The fighting's continued. We're pushing the Germans back, taking ground, clearing the area around Bastogne. I'm moving on autopilot. See a German. Shoot. See another. Shoot. No thought, no emotion, just function. I'm numb, completely numb. Last night I tried to sleep. Couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Jimmy falling. Heard that surprised oh sound he made. 1 second alive, next second dead, after everything we survived. After the cold, the hunger, the fear, the battles. He died when relief arrived. The cruel joke of war. Around 0800 Sergeant. Wait. Henderson's dead. There's a new platoon sergeant, guy named Murphy. I don't know him. Don't care to know him. He's not Henderson. Murphy gathered what's left of us. Maybe half the platoon survived. Half. The rest dead or wounded or missing. We're pushing forward today, Murphy said. Clearing German positions. Taking the villages they occupied. You boys ready? Were we ready? Were any of us ready? But we nodded, said yes, did our duty, because that's all we know how to do. We moved out around 0900, advanced through the positions we'd been defending, past our old foxholes, past the battlefield. The dead were still there, frozen. American and German. No one had time to bury them yet. I saw German soldiers frozen in position. One was reaching for something, arm extended, forever reaching, never arriving. Another was curled up, fetal position, like he was sleeping, except he'd never wake up. Our guys were the same, frozen in death, unburied, waiting for graves registration. I found Frank's body, still where we'd left him, under the poncho, frozen solid now. I knelt next to him. I'm sorry, Frank. Sorry I couldn't save you. You were the best, the absolute best. No response, obviously, but I needed to say it. Found Jimmy's body too. Same condition, frozen, gone. I touched his shoulder. I'll tell your parents. I'll find Mary. I'll keep my promise. Then I stood, moved on, had to keep moving, had to keep functioning. We reached the first village. Germans had abandoned it, pulled back during the night. The village was destroyed. Artillery, fighting, every building damaged, some completely gone. We cleared it anyway, room by room, building by building, looking for stragglers, for wounded, for anything, found nothing, just destruction. In one house I found a family photo on the floor, glass broken. The photo showing a Belgian couple with 3 kids, smiling, happy, before the war. Where were they now? Dead? Refugees? Would they ever come back to this destroyed home? I left the photo where it was, moved on. We took 3 more villages that day, all abandoned, all destroyed, each one the same. Rubble, destruction, evidence of lives interrupted, destroyed. By evening we'd advanced maybe 5 miles, pushed the Germans back, reclaimed ground, victory, I guess. But it felt hollow, empty. What were we building here? What were we accomplishing? Just more destruction, more death, more suffering. I'm writing this from a cellar in one of the villages. We're billeted here for the night. First time sleeping inside in over a week. There's a fireplace. Someone got a fire going. Real fire, real heat. I should feel grateful, relieved. I just feel empty. The other guys are talking, sharing stories, processing. I'm sitting in the corner, writing, trying to make sense of it. Can't make sense of it. Jimmy's dead. That's all I know. That's all I can hold on to. My friend, my brother, dead. And I couldn't save him, couldn't protect him, couldn't do anything. Just watched him die, held his hand while he bled out, made promises I now have to keep. The weight of it is crushing. All these promises, all these dead. Henderson, Frank, Jimmy, all the others. I have to survive now, have to make it home, have to tell their stories. That's the burden, the responsibility. I didn't ask for it, but it's mine, so I'll carry it. I'll survive. I'll go home. I'll keep my promises, because that's all I can do. That's all that's left. December 28th, 1944. First hot meal in forever. Field kitchens caught up with us. Real food. Hot stew. Fresh bread. Coffee. I ate, but didn't taste it. Everything tastes like ash now. My body needed the calories, needed the warmth, but I couldn't enjoy it. The other guys were grateful, smiling, some even laughing. How can they laugh after everything? But I understand. They're processing differently, finding joy where they can, holding on to humanity. I can't. Not yet. Maybe not ever. After eating, I found a moment alone. Checked my appearance in a piece of broken mirror. I didn't recognize the person looking back. Gaunt face, hollow eyes, week-old beard, older. So much older. I'm 22, but I look 40. This is what war does. Ages you. Takes your youth. Replaces it with this. I touched my face. Felt the beard. The roughness. The stranger I'd become. Who am I now? Not the kid from Scranton. Not the stock clerk who wanted to be a teacher. Not the boy who danced with Helen. Someone else. Someone harder, colder, more broken. Can I go back? Can I ever be that person again? I don't think so. Around noon we got word. We're being rotated out tomorrow. Finally. The battalion's getting pulled back for rest and refit, real rest this time, behind the lines, away from the fighting. For how long, nobody knows. But any rest is good. The news should make me happy, relieved. I just feel numb. We spent the afternoon on burial detail, collecting the dead, American and German, digging graves in the frozen ground. It's brutal work. The ground doesn't want to give up the dead. We had to use explosives in some places, blast the frozen earth, create holes deep enough. We buried them, rows and rows, temporary crosses, dog tags on the American ones, whatever identification we could find on the Germans. I helped bury Frank, and Jimmy, and Henderson, what little was left. We wrapped them in ponchos, lowered them into the frozen ground, said a few words. I tried to pray, couldn't find the words. What do you say to God after this? After watching good men die? After all this suffering? I settled for, rest in peace, brothers. You did your duty, you fought bravely, you'll be remembered. Then we covered them with dirt, placed the crosses, moved on to the next body. Repeat, again and again. All afternoon. By the end, we'd buried maybe 40 guys. From our battalion alone. 40 men who'd been alive a week ago, now gone. And this was just one battalion. One small piece of Bastogne. How many total? Hundreds? Thousands? Too many. Always too many. As the sun set, I stood at the temporary cemetery, looking at all those crosses, all those names, each one a person, a story, a family, all gone. I found Jimmy's cross, knelt next to it. I'm going to keep my promise, I told him. I'm going to find your family, tell them about you, about how brave you were, how you never complained, how you died protecting something bigger than yourself. The cross didn't answer, obviously, but I felt like Jimmy heard, like he knew. That's something. That's all I've got. December 30th, 1944, we're attacking again, pushing the Germans. Further back. The fighting's different now. We've got support, supplies, armor, air cover when the weather permits. But it's still fighting, still killing, still death. We took a village today, can't remember the name. They all blur together, clearing German positions, room to room. Building to building, found a German position, 3 soldiers. Kids really, maybe 17 years old. Terrified. They surrendered immediately, hands up, crying, begging. One of our guys, a replacement named Miller, wanted to shoot them. For Henderson, he said. For all our guys. I stopped him. We don't shoot prisoners. Why not? They'd shoot us? Maybe, but we're better than that. We have to be better than that. He backed down, but I could see the hate in his eyes, the desire for revenge. I understood it. Felt it too. But we can't give in to it. Can't become what we're fighting against. We sent the prisoners back to the rear. They'll spend the rest of the war in a POW camp, then go home. Back to Germany, back to their families. They'll survive. Jimmy won't. Frank won't. Henderson won't. The unfairness of it makes me want to scream. But that's war. Nothing fair about it. Nothing just random death and random survival. Later in the day we found a German who'd frozen to death. He was in a foxhole. Had been for days probably. Just froze. Alone. He had letters in his pocket. From home, from his mother, his sister, his girlfriend. Same as our letters. Same love. Same longing. Same hope. I read one. Don't know why. Maybe I'm punishing myself. His mother wrote about missing him, about praying for his safety, about how proud his father would have been. The father was dead, killed on the Eastern Front. She ended with, "Come home safe, Lieblings, we need you." He didn't come home. He froze to death in a Belgian foxhole, far from home, far from everyone, just like we almost did. I put the letters back in his pocket, closed his eyes, left him for graves registration. Someone's son, someone's brother, someone's love. Gone. I'm so tired of death, of loss, of all this. When does it end? When do we get to stop killing, stop dying? I don't know. Nobody knows. We just keep going, keep fighting, keep hoping it'll be over soon. But soon never comes. January 1st, 1945, New Year's Day, New Year, New Day, same war. Midnight came and went. Some guys celebrated, firing flares, shouting Happy New Year. The Germans fired flares back. Brief moment of shared humanity, acknowledging the turning of the year, then back to war, back to killing. I spent midnight writing, trying to process, trying to understand who I am now. I'm not the same person who left Scranton, not the same person who jumped into Normandy, not even the same person who arrived at Bastogne. I'm someone else, someone harder, colder, someone who's seen too much, done too much. Can I go back to normal life, to teaching history, to Sunday dinners, to dances with Helen? I don't know. How do you explain this to people who weren't there? How do you make them understand? You can't. The divide is too wide, too deep. We live in different worlds now. The soldiers who've seen combat, and everyone else, forever separate, forever unable to fully connect. That's a lonely thought. But it's true. Around 0900 we got orders. We're attacking toward Foy, village northeast of Bastogne. Real fight expected. Germans are dug in, determined to hold. We moved out at 1000, full company, supported by armor, artillery on call. The approach was through open ground, no cover, just snow-covered fields. German machine guns opened up, firing from the village. Interlocking fields of fire, professional, deadly. We went to ground, used what cover we could, shell holes, small rises, anything. The machine gun fire was constant, bullets kicking up snow, trees splintering, death everywhere. Artillery called in fire mission, shells screamed overhead, impacted in the village. Explosions, smoke. The machine gun fire slackened. We moved forward, got maybe another 100 yards. The machine guns opened up again. We went down again. This continued for hours. Advance, get pinned, call artillery. Advance, slow, brutal, costly. By mid-afternoon, we'd reached the outskirts of Foy, started clearing buildings. Germans fought hard. Every house, every room. Giving ground slowly, making us pay. I was clearing a house with 2 other guys. Went through the door. German waiting. He fired. Missed me. Hit the guy behind me. I shot the German. He went down. The guy behind me was screaming. Gut shot. Bad wound. Medic got to him eventually. Stabilized him. Evacuated him. Will he make it? Don't know. Not my problem. Have to keep moving. Cold. Terrible. But true. Can't stop for every casualty. Can't feel for every loss. There are too many. Too much. You become numb. Or you break. Those are the options. We took Foy by evening. Germans pulled back. Left their dead. We buried them along with ours. More graves, more crosses, more names that'll be forgotten. The war grinds on, consuming everything, destroying everything. We're winning now, pushing the Germans back, taking ground. But the cost, always the cost. How much more? How many more have to die before it's over? I don't know. I'm just trying to survive. One day at a time, one fight at a time, that's all I've got. January 3rd, 1945, quiet day, relatively. Some shelling, some patrol activity, no major attacks. We're holding Foy, consolidating, fortifying. The Germans are pulling back across the board. The Bulge is collapsing. Their offensive failed. We held. We stopped them. We won. But it doesn't feel like winning. I'm sitting in a destroyed house in Foy, looking at the ruins, the shattered furniture, the broken dishes, the family photos torn and scattered. People lived here, had lives, had hopes and dreams and daily routines. All gone now. Destroyed by war. We did this. Us and the Germans together. We destroyed this. For what? For strategy? For territory? For victory? Was it worth it? I can't answer that. Too close to it. Too deep in it. Maybe someday, when the war's over, when I have distance, maybe then I can say if it was worth it. Right now, all I see is destruction. A Belgian family came back today. Old couple. Maybe 70. They walked through the ruins of their home. The old woman was crying, picking up broken things, trying to salvage something, anything. The old man just stood there, staring, broken. I wanted to help, to say something, to make it better, but what could I say? Sorry we destroyed your home while saving you from the Germans? Hollow words, empty comfort. So I just watched, helpless, guilty. They saw me. The old man nodded, just a small nod, acknowledging my presence. Not hostile, not friendly, just resigned. This is their life now, ruins, destruction, starting over from nothing, because of war, because of us. Later, an old woman approached our position. She had bread, fresh baked. She offered it to us. Same woman from before? Or different? Hard to tell. They all looked the same after suffering. Thank you, she said in broken English, for liberate, for fight. We tried to refuse. She insisted. So we ate her bread, the best bread I've ever tasted, made with love, with care, by someone who'd lost everything but still chose kindness. That's humanity. That's what we're protecting. Not strategy, not territory, not victory. People. Their capacity for goodness, for resilience, for hope. That's worth fighting for. That's worth dying for. Maybe. January 6, 1945. We're being rotated out tomorrow. Finally. The battalion's getting pulled back. Real rest. Behind the lines. Away from the fighting. The news should make me happy. It doesn't. Just feels like relief, numbness. Can't tell anymore. Today I visited the cemetery. The temporary one where we buried our dead. Found the graves. Henderson, Frank, Jimmy, all the others. Wooden crosses. Names carved or written. Dog tags hanging. So inadequate. So temporary. These men deserve more. marble headstones, beautiful cemeteries, honor and remembrance. Instead, they get frozen ground and rough crosses, for now at least. Eventually, they'll be moved. Proper burial, proper honor, but right now they're here, in this frozen Belgian field. I knelt at Jimmy's grave. I'm leaving tomorrow, I told him. Going to the rear, rest and refit. Don't know when I'll be back. Don't know if I'll be back. The cross didn't answer. I'm going to keep my promise, I continued. When this is over, when I get home, I'm going to find your parents, tell them about you, how brave you were, how you never complained, how you fought for a country that imprisoned them, how you died protecting something bigger than yourself. Still no answer. I'm also going to find Mary, tell her you thought about her, that you wanted to ask her out, that you regretted not doing it. Maybe that'll give her some closure, some connection to you. I put my hand on the cross. Cold, rough. Rest easy, brother. Your fight's over. Mine's not, but I'll carry you with me, always. I moved to Frank's grave. Same ritual, same promises. You were the best, Frank, the absolute best, brave, strong, dependable. I'm going to tell your mom, tell her you died a hero, that you saved lives, that you mattered. Then to Henderson's grave, or what passed for it, not much left of him to bury. Sergeant Henderson, Bill. I'm going to find your family, your kids, Billy, Sarah, little Tommy. I'm going to tell them about their dad, about how he led us, how he kept us alive, how he died protecting us. They deserve to know. I stood there for a long time, looking at all the graves, all the promises. Can I keep them all? Can I carry all this weight? I don't know, but I'll try. That's all I can do. The sun was setting, long shadows across the cemetery. I saluted. Military salute, crisp, respectful. Thank you, I said to all of them. Thank you for your service, your sacrifice, your courage. You'll never be forgotten. I promise you that. Then I walked away, back to the living, back to the war. Tomorrow we leave Bastogne, leave this frozen hell behind. But we'll never really leave. Parts of us will always be here. Frozen, buried, lost. That's the cost. That's what we paid. And the war's not even over yet. January 9th, 1945. Last entry from Bastogne. We're loading trucks now. Heading to the rear. To rest areas. To warmth and safety and recovery. I should be happy, relieved, grateful. I'm just empty. I'm sitting in a church in Bastogne, one of the few buildings still mostly intact. The roof's damaged, snow drifts in, but the altar's intact. Candles burning, a crucifix on the wall, Jesus suffering on the cross. I'm looking at it, trying to understand. Father Murphy, back in Scranton, used to talk about suffering, about how God doesn't waste pain, how everything has meaning, purpose. I want to believe that. I want to believe Henderson's death meant something, that Jimmy's death meant something, that Frank's death meant something, that all this suffering and death and destruction was for something, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. What did we accomplish here? We held a town, denied the Germans a crossroads, stopped their offensive, strategically significant, tactically important. But what about the human cost? The dead, the wounded, the traumatized, the Belgian families whose homes were destroyed. Was it worth that cost? I can't answer. Too close, too raw. Maybe history will judge. Maybe future generations will say, yes, Bastogne mattered. The sacrifice was necessary. Or maybe they'll say, what a waste, what senseless death. I don't know which would be worse. I'm kneeling here in this broken church, trying to pray. Dear God, I don't understand. I don't understand why they died and I lived. Why good men fall and I'm still here. I'm not better than them, not braver, not more deserving, just luckier. Help me carry this. Help me honor them. Help me be worthy of this survival. Watch over Henderson's kids. Watch over Jimmy's parents. Watch over Frank's mother. Watch over all the families who lost someone here. Give them peace. Give them strength. Give them hope. And give me the courage to keep the promises I made. To tell their stories. To make their deaths mean something. I don't know if you're listening. Don't know if you care. Don't know if you're even there. But I have to try. Have to hope. Have to believe there's something more than this. Amen. The candles flicker. The The snow drifts through the damaged roof. The church is silent. No answers. No revelations. Just cold and silence. Maybe that's all there is. Maybe faith is continuing despite the silence. Despite the doubt. I don't know. I'm gathering my things. Time to go. 23 days. That's how long we were here. December 18th to January 9th. 23 days that feel like 23 years. We arrived understrength and unprepared. We're leaving decimated and traumatized. But we held. Against impossible odds. Against overwhelming force. Against everything. We held. The 101st Airborne. The Screaming Eagles. Karahi. We stand alone. We proved it. At terrible cost. But we proved it. Henderson would be proud. Frank would be proud. Jimmy would be proud. I hope. I'm making a final accounting. Names of the dead. The ones I knew. The ones I remember. Sergeant Bill Henderson. Waterloo, Iowa. 3 kids. Died December 25th. Killed by German tank shell. Hero. PFC Frank Dombrowski. Detroit, Michigan. Auto worker. Died December 24th. Multiple shrapnel wounds. Fought until the end. PFC Jimmy Chen, San Francisco, California. Nisei. Died December 26th. Sniper. Minutes after relief arrived. Brave beyond measure. PFC Eddie Malone. Boston, Massachusetts. Wounded December 19th. Lost his leg. Survived. Going home. PFC Miller. Don't know first name. Don't know hometown. Killed December 25th. Artillery. PFC Johnson. Same. PFC Walsh. Wanted to understand. Killed by sniper. Too young. So many others. Names I'm forgetting. Faces blurring together. Each one a person. A story. A family. All gone. I'm carrying their letters. Their dog tags. Pieces of them. Will return them to families when I can. When the war's over. If I survive. I have to survive. Made too many promises. Owe too many debts. Can't let them down. The trucks are here. Time to load up. Time to leave. Goodbye, Bastogne. You frozen hell. You terrible, beautiful battlefield. I'm leaving parts of myself here. My innocence, my youth, my faith. All frozen in this Belgian ground. But I'm taking parts too. Strength, resilience, understanding of what I can endure. What men can accomplish together. That's worth something. Maybe. Helen, if you ever read this, I'm coming home. Changed, broken maybe, but coming home. I'm not the boy you kissed goodbye. That person died in a frozen foxhole in Belgium. But I'm still me, still Tommy, still yours if you'll have me. Just different, harder, sadder, more aware of how fragile everything is. Can you accept that? Can you love this different person? I hope so. Because I need you. Need something good. Something pure. Something worth surviving for. Mom, Dad, Margaret, Catherine, I'm coming home. Don't know when, but I'm coming. I'll sit at that kitchen table again, eat those pierogies, go to mass, be part of the family, different, changed, but there. Patrick, wherever you are in the Pacific, stay safe. Come home. We'll compare stories, laugh about what we can, stay silent about what we can't, but we'll both come home. We have to. To everyone who died here, Henderson, Frank, Jimmy, and all the rest, I'm carrying you. Your memories, your stories, your sacrifices, you won't be forgotten. I promise you that. As long as I live, you live. In my memory, in my heart, in the stories I'll tell. That's my vow, my sacred duty. I will remember. I will honor. I will tell your stories, always. The truck's loading, last one to board, one final look at Bastogne, at the destroyed buildings, at the cemetery in the distance, at the frozen ground that holds so many dead. Goodbye. And thank you for testing us, for forging us, for showing us what we could endure. We held, against everything, against all odds. We held. Kurahi. We stand alone. We stood alone. And we held. Thomas Callahan, Private First Class 2nd Battalion, 506 Parachute, Infantry Regiment, 101st, Airborne Division, Bastogne, Belgium, January 9th, 1945. 23 days in hell. We survived, some of us. End of diary.